You're listening to the Death Rattle Crew, a Hearthstone podcast.
DRC, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Death Rattle Crew, a Hearthstone podcast. This is episode 44. I am one of your hosts, Mike Cactu Hearn, joined by Bradford Lee.
Hey, what's up? Sorry. I'm here. I was trying to get myself set up. I'm distracted. Hey, I'm here.
He's busy.
Yeah.
He's there.
And the legend formerly known as Jeremy.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Man, it's been a rough night so far. Like, we just got started. I spilt beer on my mechanical keyboard. We're late. Matt's not here. It's just a bad start. But I feel like we're going to alleviate all those issues, and it's going to be good. We're going to finish on a high note.
You know what makes it all better is a second beer, a replacement beer.
Yes. Oh, man. So that's been tonight so far. But it's okay. Because we're just going to go on from there. Don't forget, you can follow us at Twitter. Just search Death Rattle Crew. YouTube, Death Rattle Crew. Twitch, Death Rattle Crew. Follow us there. Or write into us at mail@deathrattlecrew.com. And Bradford Lee, where can people find you streaming?
You can find me on twitch.tv/Bradford Lee. Pretty simple.
Perfect.
And I'm actually hosting us right now, so
perfect. And
there might be some folks checking us out from it. Yeah.
And if you're on Twitch, you can see that I've frozen again. We had the same problems we had last week.
Oh, what can you do?
I don't know. We're gonna get that figured out. I have a face for radio, so I wonder if Twitch is like, man, that guy, he's way too ugly.
His real face. Oh gosh.
Oh man. So anyway, let's start with weeks. How have weeks been? Brad, we'll just start with you.
Fantastic. I played in the Tuesday Night Hype yesterday. Did quite well. I lost going into the round of 16 in a close game 5. So I've been playing some Hearthstone, doing all that kind of fun stuff. It's cold where I live right now, like really cold right now. So I'm not excited about that. But other than that, pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jeremy, how about you?
It's been good. I unfortunately have played almost no Hearthstone at all. Yeah, just a whole bunch of crazy stuff came up. Wife and I have been Christmas shopping a lot. I had the day off, so that was pretty cool. Didn't have to work today, but went and picked up. We finished every bit of our Christmas shopping today, so that was nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a couple decks I want to talk about, one of which I've been playing a lot of, but I mean, other than that, yeah, kind of same, doing Christmas shopping. Black Friday, I went to the gun range with my sister and my mom. That was fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's all these other dudes, and it's just like me and then two, like my sister and my mom. So it's just kind of, we didn't quite fit in. It was kind of funny, but yeah, we had a good time.
That's funny.
Yeah, so that was I guess the week so far. I don't know.
I had never fired a gun until this last year.
Really?
Well,
yeah. My brother bought just a handheld 9mm. Him and his wife got a new apartment, and so I was like, oh yeah, I'll shoot it. And they're really scary. They're all like loud and bullety. And
you mean he didn't get a silencer?
No. It is a lot louder than you think it's going to be.
It is.
You just fire it and immediately you're like, God, this sucks.
Yeah, even the 22s can be loud. I mean, obviously they're not as loud as some of the other ones, but yeah.
Right.
But as Matt would say, remember when this is a Hearthstone podcast?
Oh yeah, that's right.
We'll just kind of, before we get into Meta Anatomy, we'll talk about a couple things, I guess, real quick first. Tavern Brawl. Yeah.
It's confusing, right?
Yanwu, Ben Brode, whoever. What? I don't know what's going on. I don't understand. How do you Hearthstone? I don't. So you get cards, and when you play them, they go into your deck, and you pull them back out at random.
Yeah, but you don't even actually get cards out of your deck, though. You discover cards, though. So there's like 3 options at the beginning of your turn. And then once you play the card, or once you get the card, it goes and adds a copy into your deck. I don't know. It's been a confusing one, but it's interesting. That's for sure.
That.
We'll
go with that.
That's the one.
I don't know. I now it just came out today. I've been working all day, so I haven't really had a chance to play it. So to be fair, I haven't had a lot of time with it yet. And
I played it once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave it a spin once too.
I don't know. Like I feel like this is what I like Tavern Brawl to be, just kind of like wonky and like it's
really weird.
It's not competitive at all. Like the couple games I played, there was one guy who was like, "Thanks," and he was like BMing me. I'm like, dude, this is not competitive Hearthstone. Turn it down a notch, man.
Yeah, but he beat you, dude.
I you know what? You're right.
You suck. He's so good at Tavern Brawl.
I should uninstall. Just done. Rip.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah, you really suck.
What are you gonna do?
Can't win a Tavern Brawl. Jeez.
Yeah.
There's definitely no RNG in that format.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's all skill.
No. All right. Well, with that, let's get into meta anatomy.
DRC would like to thank Brainiacs for their support of this podcast. If you have a tech idea for improving your business's workflow, Brainiacs can provide a turnkey solution to specifically fit your needs. You can contact them at www.brainiux.com.
And welcome back. This is Meta Anatomy, your one weekly stop for everything meta in Hearthstone. I'm Tac2, joined by Bradford Lee, the legend formerly known as Jeremy, and hopefully Matt Mushu Hill will join us. I have a feeling he's been sleeping in.
I doubt it. He's a giant disappointment with 2 legs.
I was gonna say he's probably getting his daily dose of Vegemite.
I think go make some toast and Vegemite.
We'll go with that. Yeah. So this week, let's start with the Soul Adventure coming out this week. Why don't we just start with that first?
Sure.
Because I feel like this will lead into deck building discussions that I've got a couple things to talk about. But Bradford, why don't you take it off?
Okay, sure.
What's coming out this week?
Well, the 3rd wing is coming out this week for the League of Explorers, it's kind of a big news because it's going to introduce new cards to the game and potentially shift up the meta dramatically. Potentially. Now, we don't know for sure because we're not certain if any of these cards are good. So in this particular one, there is 3 wings, and each wing is going to give you 2 specific cards. And there's also going to still be the 2 clash challenges, which each are going to give you a card. So let's run through the cards real quick. This week, there's Huge Toad that's coming out, which is a 2-mana 3/2. It has Death Rattle, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. And then there's Gorilla Bot, is a 4-mana 3/4, and it has Battle Cry of if you control another mech, discover a mech. Moving on, we have Anyfin Can Happen. It's a 10-mana spell. It says summon 7 Murlocs that died this game. And then alongside of Anyfin, yeah, that is a Paladin card. Yes, I forgot to mention that. And then alongside of Anyfin Can Happen, we have our new Wisp, Murloc Tiny Fin, coming out. So basically it is a 0-mana 1/1, so it's a Wisp, that also has the creature type of Murloc. So it's a slightly upgraded power creepy Wisp. So after that, we have the final part of the wing, and there's actually 4 cards that we're going to get from this. You get Pit Snake, which is a 2/1 beast for 1. That has destroy any minion damaged by this minion. So it's a 2/1 for 1 with Death Touch. If it gets touched, if something touches it, it dies. And that is a rogue card. And then for 5 mana, we have a 5/5 called Naga Sea Witch. And it says your cards cost 5 less. In Druid, we have a 4-mana 4/4 called Jungle Moonkin that has both players have spell damage +2. And then the legendary coming out of this set is Sir Finley Murgleton, or Sir Finley Murgleton. Is a 1-mana 1/3 Murloc that has Battle Cry, discover a new basic hero power. So that's maybe makes Shaman a little bit better. We'll see.
Yeah, this will be a good week to go ahead.
Yeah, and then last but not least, there are 2 other cards that come from your class challenge this week. There's Entomb, which is a 6-mana spell, and it says choose an enemy minion, shuffle it into your deck. So you can you get rid of an enemy minion, and that minion gets shuffled into your deck, which is interesting. And then there is, and that's a priest card. And then there's another shaman card coming out this week. It is a 7-mana spell called Every Fin is Awesome. It is in reference to multiple, or to, I'm guessing, the to Murlocs and the Lego movie. But it gives your minions +2/+2, and this card costs 1 less for each Murloc you control. So those are all the cards coming out this week. So there's a ton of new cards coming out. What do you guys think about them? Where are we at on these cards? What's going to be the best?
It'll be a good week to play anti-shaman cards, because a bunch of people are going to be trying out shaman.
Sure, because of Sir Finley, and then also the
Every Fin. Every Fin is awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Mushu, what do you
Murloc
think?
Shaman.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to try that.
Yeah.
Now, will it be good?
No. Let's be
Now-
real. Everyone's going to be trying it, but is it going to be good? No.
The dream is you play Sir Finley Murgleton, get the Warlock ability,
Oh, yes.
then you're good. Then you're golden.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can tap then, and
If
just
it
go
happens
through the
every
end.
Right.
Yeah, well, then you're playing just Warlock Murlocs.
Okay, with a different hero looking figure. Gotcha.
Right.
Something that looks
exactly.
like Shaman, but really it's Warlock.
Right.
Seems really consistent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it.
I just feel like every Fin is awesome this week.
And Matt's
got him.
here. Got him.
You know,
Mushu.
it's apparently the warm Australian summer is melting alarm clocks everywhere. So
Yes.
people are getting up late for work. It's an epidemic down here.
How do you survive?
Every
I have-
Fin is awesome except for Mushu's alarm clock.
Oh,
Not
Confirmed.
awesome.
got him.
I
Wait, so it's
survived
warm
with a
down
fan. Huh?
What's your temperature right now? How warm is it?
It's about 48 degrees centigrade.
Mm.
You suck because it's
No,
snowing.
I'm kidding.
here.
I'm kidding. It's like fucking. It's not hot at all. It's getting there. It's getting there. We're projecting to have one of the hottest, consistently hottest summers ever. Where multiple it's like 1 in every 6 days is going to be over 40 degrees.
Well,
Centigrade, Celsius rather. Centigrade.
God, I keep forgetting that you're literally on the other side of the world, so it's summer there, or it's moving into summer there now.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not too bad yet.
for all those in America that follow Fahrenheit, that's 100 degrees.
I was about
It's
to say,
100 it's like 104, I think, or 105. It's somewhere around that range.
Like,
Let me look it up.
take your commie empirical system and explain it to me in American what that means.
Wait, so is that like? I know it's a little bit different in the South. In Alabama, like 98 degrees feels like it's 140 something
Right.
because of all the humidity. So is it the same in Australia? Or is it pretty dry?
It's a dry heat. It'll fuck you up. Like you walk outside and you need to start drinking water, because otherwise you'll walk back inside and you'd be like this dried prune kind of thing.
Whoa.
You lost too much water.
Meanwhile, I'm pushing my car out of snow this morning. So
Yeah, right.
Well, see, yeah, snow isn't a thing in this part of the country. I haven't. There's rarely been snow, but that was before like the 90s or something.
before
Anyway.
the 90s. Whoa.
I don't know. No, I don't think there's been snow in Perth for a long time. I think my parents told me about it happening a couple of times, but not for a while. But we're lucky because we're like, if I wanted to, it was like 20-minute drive and I'm at the beach, so it's not too bad.
Right.
There
Well,
are
Mike and
ways
I
to-
had the weird snowstorm. What was it, like 2 years ago?
Yeah. No.
And
it was,
then-
it was 2 years ago, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, we get snow once every like 4 years.
Yeah. It was more ice. Like I got stuck at work. It was that bad. I
Yeah,
got
they
stuck
were-
because people in Atlanta can't drive in the snow. But to be fair, people up north don't know how to handle a tornado. So
Right.
Man, I feel like people say that everywhere. I don't think I've ever heard someone say, "Yeah, people in my country really know how to fucking drive. They really know. They're masters of the road. They know what's going on. There are no dickheads like just stopping. Everyone can merge. Everyone seems to suck at driving."
I think where I live, everyone can drive in snow. They have to. It's like 6 months of it. We have to. We
Yeah.
live in a
Right.
winter wonderland for 6 months where I'm at, so I'm priced into it.
Right.
People figured it out, whether they're good at it or not.
Brad, you're in Iowa, Ohio. What was
Close. You're getting there.
Oregon.
One of these days. Idaho.
Hawaii.
it? Idaho. There we
Hawaii?
go.
Yeah, but it snows in Hawaii every day.
Hawaii, one of the freak states.
Same thing.
Hey, I heard that I saw a thing on Reddit actually about Australia that they were putting sunblock at the bus stations for free for people to take.
Oh my!
Like that was a
fucking
government
God.
initiative.
That is an excellent government initiative. I
Yeah,
fully support
fantastic.
that in every way, shape, and form.
That's pretty cool.
Australian
Yeah.
government plus one.
Yeah,
And I'm not
seriously.
usually a fan of the Australian government
No, come on.
because of their certain internet decisions. But that's another story entirely. But yeah, I'm all about. You fuck it. You get used to it. Like I have a big pump pack of sunscreen just because for some reason I'm actually part Ranger, and if you know that means part ginger for you Americans.
Ah,
So I have very fair
you and Bradford.
skin. Yeah, I have very fair skin, and I occasionally grow a red beard. So I need all the help I can get when I'm living in Australia.
Mm.
Yeah, as a born redhead, I also am a strong supporter of anything sunblock.
Oh, I managed to.
I don't think I've ever worn sunblock.
Mm.
Whoa.
Man, you're gonna get so
I'm-
much skin
I'm-
cancer.
No, well, I'm part Cherokee, so
That-
I don't really get. I've never really been sunburnt. Like I've gotten.
Your part.
I'll get
car.
pink for like a day.
You're part
No.
car.
What?
See,
Cherokee
No,
is a.
I'm kidding. I'm
is an
kidding. I'm
Indian-
kidding.
It's an Indian tribe.
I know.
Okay.
All right,
Oh, like
I'm kidding.
Jeep Grand Cherokee?
right.
Laredo?
Exactly. I'm part Cherokee. Right.
I'm relatively ignorant, but
No.
that's
well, that's
See,
I don't know. That's like you explaining like I don't know some indigenous tribe in Australia and being like, "What the hell
Yeah.
is that? Is that some type
Yeah.
of brand of car?" Oh man, I'm like
Wait, where-
like when I was like in high school, middle school, and I worked for my father. Like usually during the summer, I get sunburnt like once a year, but then I get really tan. But like I will look Hispanic if I get tan enough. So like
Whoa.
Dad he owns a remodeling business, so we were like Home Depot, Lowe's, we're always there. It would not be like it would happen probably once or twice a summer where someone would come up to me and just start talking to me in Spanish. And I had like I took Spanish in high school and college, but like I know enough to like get myself out of trouble. It's like, no, sorry, I don't speak Espanol, you know.
No hablo.
No, there you go. See, that's what I mean. Yeah, no hablo Espanol. Anyway, yeah, as Matt, they're going to do it again. Remember when we were a Hearthstone podcast?
yeah, it's my favorite.
No.
It's my favorite line.
I don't remember that at all.
Anyway,
So getting back to the
Yes,
thing we were discussing earlier,
the
we were
release
just talking
coming
So
about
Shaman.
the new release in cards and how Shaman still sucks probably, but maybe
what?
it gets some cards.
Except
I've
for
seen,
the
like-
aggro shaman. The aggro shaman's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I've been seeing people who I don't respect as players to climb ladders doing like really well. Like I played like 6 games
Right
and
now.
lost 5 of them. No, I'm not talking about professional players. I'm talking about people I know who
Like,
like,
don't
oh
respect.
yeah, no, I should be better than you. I should be climbing faster than you and watch their games and then like playing this dirty aggro shaman with like, you know, leopard gnomes and shit. And it's just
Whoa.
ugh.
Whoa. Do we have an aggro player go like downplaying other aggro players? Is that what's going on? Is that what I'm seeing right now, Matt?
I was watching Just Saying stream yesterday, and he was talking about like his mentality approaching the climb. It's like why you should play control decks. He's talking about, you know, if you play control decks, you you have a good chance against most aggro decks and a good chance against control decks. Whereas if you're aggro and you queue into control, you instantly lose. And I was sitting there thinking, I don't know if you instantly lose. It's definitely a bit harder, but I don't know if you instantly. But
I mean, like if you're playing a control warrior and they get to turn 8 and down comes like Reno Jackson what's that 6/3? Like if somebody drops
just a card True Heart.
Yeah, if somebody drops a True Heart and I don't have major board presence, I just concede. Like I'm not gonna win.
Yeah, I tried this. It's called Smallcron Elite Patron Warrior. So the whole concept is you just take out the piloted shredders and add Corkron Elite with the premise that piloted shredder doesn't do enough this turn you play it. So I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like I'm kind of playing it wrong. There's no Dr. Boom.
Is that the 4/3 with charge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So that's
Yeah.
your 4-drop now. Is just a 4/3 with charge now?
Yeah, exactly. But
Okay.
I don't know. I miss my piloted shredder. I don't know. Maybe I'm probably not in the right mindset for the deck. It seems to be like kind of your win conditions still very much patron, whereas the version with that purple one DreamHack with and Oscar one played at Worlds was had Dr. Boom, which I feel like the deck goes from like lower turn 5 to Gromash. So that's like really spike.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So that's why I played against that deck in every single round of Tuesday Night Hype last night.
Was there like just talk to me about it? Was there was no unstable, wasn't it? Or
no, it was the Corkron Elite with Dr. Boom Grim Patron Patron builds. And I lost to it every single game in my first round that I played it. And then I just switched. I was playing a Fatigue Warrior build with it, and I just switched to Fatigue Warrior and just steamrolled it every single time. So like, it just gets ran over by that because it doesn't have the resiliency that Piloted Shredder gave it. But in like a normal Control Warrior matchup, I think it would be better. But I was just like, I'm not even trying to kill him. I'm just literally being like, okay, I'm going to run you out of all of your cards. And they just draw through their deck, and then they don't have enough resources to finish off a Fatigue build that just has, like, can gain 7 life a turn for every single turn after turn 5, basically. So.
Yeah, it gets stomped by Control Warrior for the reasons you just mentioned.
Okay. That would make sense why I played against Phone Tap in the first round, and that was the thing that he banned was my Warrior. So that makes sense why he banned my Warrior then, because he was also on that build as well. So
Did you wreck him?
No, I was the one round I lost in the the round robin section.
Way to make us not proud, Brad.
Yeah, I know. What can you do? I actually got steamrolled by him like 2 games in a row where I actually only played Handlock throughout the whole series once I got onto Handlock. I lost 3 in a row with Handlock. But I got steamrolled twice where I thought he was actually on a different build one game, and then he just destroyed me because he was on something else. So I was just like, oh. Like all of a sudden, I don't even remember what the game was now. Oh, he was on Mally Lock. That's what it was. I thought he was on Handlock until like turn 6. And then that's when I started realizing what he was on. I was like, oh my God, my hand's really bad. And I already wasted like my Iron Beak on something else, or like, and it just put me in a bad position at that point. He took me down. So
I think like the turning point for that is the biggest indicative turn is like usually turn 4. Their 4 drops are quite different in the Mally Lock. You get things like Imking Boss and Implosion as opposed to Twilight Drake.
He was playing Twilight Drake though.
Rip.
Yeah, so he Twilight Draked me turn 4, and then he Loatheb me turn. No wait, he didn't. I think Sylvanas me turn 5, or 6 or something. No, he coined Emperor on turn 5, and so I was like, oh well, he's obviously on. Like Handlock alongside of me or something. And so I tried to deal with it and just got, by turn 6, he played, I think that's when he finally put down like an Implosion. And I was like, oh, so this is what's happening. I see. Yeah. And it was too late by that point. I'd already sunk my grave because I had played in a certain way that put me into a bad position. But yeah, what can you do?
We can further theory craft about these new cards.
Yeah.
That's deep.
You know what card I'm actually the most excited about from the new one is the Priest card Entomb. I don't think the card's amazing, but it's a good, like if you think of like say Handlock, for instance, sometimes will run a 1 of Siphon Soul. And I kind of like this card as a one of because you can potentially set up like a good entomb set. Like you can entomb and get their threat later, but the biggest thing there is it's a catch-all piece of removal because it doesn't actually like kill it. Like if it's a piloted shredder that you entomb, it just puts it into your deck. I'm still not sold on this card as being amazing. I could see maybe like some crazy sort of entomb fatigue build or something coming from it as well. Like I could see people reaching that direction, like 2 entombs and set up some sort of fatigue build from there. But it's still, I'm most excited about it, but I wish. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, costing 6 is a huge cost. It still feels like a Siphon Soul, which, you know, even Handlock generally doesn't play, but if they're going to play it, it's a one of. It's just, yeah, it feels like that.
It feels like a really good card against, like, as you said, super slow decks. I think it's arguably better than Siphon Soul because I think you're keeping the card, but obviously you're restricted to an enemy minion. Whereas there are some fringe situations where you can Siphon Soul your own shit to for hilarious outcomes usually. But I don't know.
Just to gain the 3 life.
Yeah, I think the versatility of being able to shuffle it into your deck just gives you that leg up on these fatigue wards.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it as a one-up. Obviously, you know, it's competing for things like Sylvanas. Thorson isn't really in priest, but Sylvanas Light Bomb as well. So you usually go down. I think I usually run 1 Light Bomb anyway. So I think going down to 1 Light Bomb, 1 Entomb, and kicking something else out might be an option. But yeah, I'm a fan of this card. I see the potential in this card.
Yeah. Oh, I take it back. I lied. Pit Snake is in this wing. That's my favorite card from this wing.
Aggro. Well, I think that's
like one of my favorite cards in the whole set. I think a card's gonna be awesome. Maybe not like incredible and like constructed because we talked about it before. Where having 1 toughness is a big deal for it. It just dies to everything because it's a 1 mana 2/1. But Pit Snake in Arena is going to be fantastic, and in the niche case where it fits into a rogue, like an aggro rogue build, I think it's going to be really good.
Well, yeah, in theory, you know, trades up all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and at the very worst, it eats a hero power, eats 2 of their mana at the very worst, you know, which is good. In the early game,
still kind of trading up, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of. It's like a tempo play at that point. It's not about like card advantage. It's more about just like, you know, if you turn 1 Pit Snake and they turn 2 kill your Pit Snake, you're now with an empty board going into your second turn and you can develop from there. So it seems fine. But yeah. Other than that, I think like the only other card that's cool from this set is really like Sir Finley. I could see the Anything Can Happen, the 10 mana spell that says summon 7 Murlocs that died this game. I could see that potentially having some crazy sort of Murloc combo build where you have like 2 copies of all these Murlocs that you want to die, and then on turn 10 you slam it and you get all of them back with charge, and like they all hit for like 25 or something crazy like that. But
yeah,
it's just there doesn't really seem like this wing feels like it's like the more casual wing for the most part to me.
I agree with that. It's the build up before Hall of the Explorers next week.
Right.
Yep.
Where we get
I know what I'm with this set. With the new one with Wing 3. I know what I'm going to do exactly with it. I'm going to start with Murloc Tiny Fin and 2 Wisps, and I'm going to throw Hobgoblins, and I'm going to throw in the Reliquary Seeker. I'm not even kidding. This is going to be my first deck I'm building. 2 Murloc Tiny Fins, 2 Wisps, 2 Hobgoblins, 1 Questing Adventurer, 2 of the Reliquary Seekers, and throw it into a Warlock build. And then from there we can go. We're game on from there. Right. Anything that spits out multiple dudes. So we want like Haunted Creepers. I want some good 1-drops, obviously, because I just want to populate the board as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And so like the 1/3 is really good, especially with the 1/3 with Taunt from Warlock alongside Hobgoblin. I'm gonna have so much fun with it. I'm stupidly excited to play around with that. Now, is it gonna be good? Probably not. But am I gonna have fun with it? Heck yeah.
Right. Man. Have any of you guys tried the Reliquary Seeker this far? Have you tried the Rogue build? Or the
Nope.
Warlock build, I'm sorry?
No, I've seen a bunch in it. It like usually takes a 2-drop slot in like the Reno Jackson builds. But no, I haven't actually personally played it. I only like played a little bit this season, but I'm keen. I'm keen with the new points.
Yeah, I am too. I'm ready to get again.
Get on the fucking grind. Just
Yeah.
quit everything else in life and just play Legend, and then.
Oh yeah, that'll be interesting. You and Brad both. You guys will hit Legend every month now.
Yeah, there's incentive. I'll do it.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
Mike, are you gonna start trying to hit Legend?
Probably not.
He's always trying to hit. He's trying. He's not trying very hard.
Wait, do you mean try to or actually hit it? Because both is probably not.
Do you get to rank 5 every month?
Yeah, I didn't actually last month. I got to 7. I didn't play as many games as I needed to, but I do get to 5 at least every month. It's just that, man.
Yeah, I get to 5 just because that 400 dust.
Yeah,
that's pretty sweet.
That 5 to Legend, God, that like I've done it so many times where like you just go back and forth, and I'm not putting enough games in. Like I'm not saying like I'm a fantastic player or anything, but I know if I put enough games in, I could do it.
Now you sound like me before I know. Like put in the time.
I know. It's just
stupid though. It really is. Like the fact that you have to play 250, 300 games to do it. Like that's just a huge barrier.
It's a long time. It just depends how much time you put into the game. I mean, obviously you play a lot. It's not that big of a deal, but like, I don't know. I got stuff to do. I got checks to make, you know? But I mean, the other thing too is I want to have fun playing it. So if I'm not having fun, I'm just not gonna play.
I think it can we can kill the fun, definitely.
Yeah. So I get to 5. I don't feel burnt out when I get to 5. But like the push where I go like all the way to rank 2 or rank 1 and then fall back to 4, and then you go back to 3 and then back to 5 and then to 2, that burns me out. I'm like, nah, I don't care anymore.
Right.
I stopped caring.
That was me last month.
Yeah.
So when do points start? Did points start this month or
this month? Yeah. So if you get Legend now, you get a BlizzCon point. Period.
Oh.
But what I don't know about that is if you get Legend on multiple servers, does that mean you get a BlizzCon point per each server? Because it used to be that if you made top 100 on multiple servers, you got points based on both of those servers.
I saw people joking about that. Like, all right, boys, get ready to play like at the Legend 3 times a month now.
Yeah,
but
and
I would have thought those. I thought that would have been points in that region. Like, so you go to the ladder on that region. I can't imagine. That seems like unfair.
Right.
Yeah, because they break it down by region anyway. So when it came time to for the playoffs or regional championships, you can't use your regional championships, or you can't use your regional points from another region to add to your Americas one. I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. That's how I like interpret it, is that you're not going to be able to go farm Asia server and get to Legend, and then just smash out the Europe server so you can get like 3 in a month.
I hope it is.
I mean, otherwise Zixo will have 4 points every month, no matter what.
Right, and I hope it's not like that, because I'm not willing to spend money on a European and Asia account, because it's just not worth it to me to have to spend money on 3 accounts or something. So I've been trying to play free to play on my Europe account and slowly build that one, and then after that build an Asia account after that. So that's going to take me 6 months to a year to get to that point in the first place. So like, I don't know, it's just it definitely promotes the grinders if it's that way, but if it's not, then I'm much happier if it's just regional or it's based on just one account.
If it was like that, then my strat would be to build like a cheap, like a zoo deck or something like cheap on the other servers and just grind the shit out of it with that. Like that's
so much time.
It's a lot of time.
Seems worth it.
Playing, man.
for an extra BlizzCon point. It's probably worth it if you're in the grind, though. Seriously, one extra BlizzCon point makes a big difference in that. And if we're talking a whole year's worth of BlizzCon points. Now, I know the system changed a little bit to where they're doing 3-month seasons. So there's 3 seasons, and then there's 1 3-month period, which is like BlizzCon month or 3 months, or like the final month or something. Yeah, so it's something to do with seasons, and there's going to be tournaments every 3 months that are going to be like the lead up to BlizzCon in a sense.
Okay, so you're not talking about like you have 3 months to hit Legend.
No. Sorry. It's 1 month still.
Because that would be crazy.
That's a dream come true for me.
Yeah, that would be
away with the month-long season.
That would be insane.
Give me 2 or 3 months. I could get Legend.
What the fuck? But the thing is, like, you'd have such a drop-off in players if there were 3-month seasons.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because you get everyone against Legends in the first, like, 2-3 weeks. Okay, there's only, 9 more weeks of this season. Probably 9 more weeks until I have to actually start playing this to take a run at the top elo. Like,
yeah, because I was watching Forsen. I was watching Forsen this morning, and he's at like 8 or something. So he'll be Legend within like the next 3 days.
Yeah. Unless but he's never lucky.
No, never lucky.
Oh man.
I love watching his stream, but I have to watch it on mute. Like, I can't listen to his music at all. No. It's just
especially
Radio Kappa.
Yeah.
He is a living, breathing meme. Yeah. Like, he exists
to be a meme. Looks like we lost him.
Uh-oh,
he is the memeist.
We lost. We kept his camera, but we could only can't hear his audio. That's great. Man, why the fuck is he like split accounting anyway? That seems hilarious. Like a hilarious idea.
We'll have to talk about that.
Who thought that was a good idea?
I did.
We did.
Come at me, bro.
Anyway,
so for those of you
hold up a sign, Jamie. We'll see.
So Matt, you weren't here for it. I spilt beer on my keyboard, so I don't have a keyboard. Our stream is frozen, but I think still sending. I can't control Alt Delete to even stop the stream from happening.
Jesus.
I'm guessing his phone died.
Channel?
I don't know.
Whose channel are we live on? Are we on Brad's or are we on DRC?
Both.
DRC. Well, both. Yeah.
All right.
So this is just a cluster tonight.
Yeah, it sounds like a clusterfuck. Yeah. Man, I feel like we need more Skype skills.
I'm back. My internet's awesome. I don't know.
Mm-mm.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, everything's going smoothly tonight.
Yeah. I'm not even going to edit that out of the audio format. I want people to know how bad, just how unlucky. We're like, this is the Forza night.
What did it robot me out?
No, it just stopped. It said,
that's nice.
I'm done.
I bet it was because I was talking about Forsen and his minions heard.
Skamaz got you.
Yeah.
You guys know about Skamaz?
I hate that guy.
I love Skamaz.
No.
All right, so
I don't know what that is.
Go look up YouTube Skamaz. It's actually pretty funny.
Is that about him like trying to steal? Because I remember watching Raynad talk about it, and like he was actually trying to steal like his employees. I actually was trying to steal Throwdown from Tempo Storm to come to work for Archon.
That sounds about right. I think it was that, and it had something to do with Ghosty or Hosty. I actually said the joke there.
Oh my
Hosty
god,
was the guy that cheated.
That guy just disappeared.
Because he cheated.
Whoa, really? What happened?
Oh,
it's not hard proof. It's like it's a reflection.
It's a reflection.
No, it's a reflection. It's
so, long story short, Hosty was playing in a tournament, and it appeared he had like a painting or something like in his background, with a glass. It was glass framed and all that, and it appeared like he had a second monitor, and Twitch was up on the monitor, and he was viewing the tournament that he was in, even with the delay. Which even in Hearthstone, a couple minute delays, you can still get a lot of information from that.
So, like you're saying,
especially when you're playing versus control deck,
basically.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, like, if you're playing like against Life Coach, like a 2-minute delay is like real time.
Right.
Unless it's in the rules, I don't like. Obviously, it's ethically questionable. But unless it was just rules, you cannot watch the stream. Then who the like? It's
yeah, but I mean, come on, that's like, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that there are multiple pros that do that. Then, though.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like
It's a competitive edge, you know. Like I understand why. He does
well, it's like if you know your opponent has a Black Knight, you either wait to play a taunt card or you play the cheapest taunt card you have. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
sure.
It's like you're saying like implying that it's bad, but I think having these implied rules in a tournament setting is just a terrible idea because
implied rules. Sure.
Yeah, when we're like, oh, someone does this, like, oh, show me the rules. Like, oh, well, it's just implied that you're not going to be.
And that's why the tournament didn't do anything about it, but his team did. Because he didn't break any tournament rules, so the tournament had no repercussion. But his team can say,
Oh, okay.
Well, it wasn't even the team. It was the Twitch and Reddit reaction to it. Like once he got like absolutely fucking destroyed by them, and Amaz made the decision that it wasn't worth the bad press. Like, and this is what a lot of people do is when they receive this sort of Reddit Twitter hate, they just bend to it. Otherwise, like it's just relentless. And
but Matt doesn't though.
Dude, I'm not popular enough to get that much Reddit Twitter hate. It's just like, so it doesn't bother me. And I hope that if I ever reach that level of fame, that I'd be able to say what I wanted and like not be influenced by trying to win Reddit and Twitter points. But that's me at the moment. I don't. Who knows if I ever got like hundreds of thousands of followers, how I would feel then. But right now, that's how I feel.
Don't fall to the man, Matt.
Exactly. That's the plan.
Don't do it.
But I feel like everyone has their prize. I'm pretty sure there's a prize out there.
Everything has a prize.
Mine's like $3.
Double Big Mac.
Throw anything at me. Yeah, sure. Done. Double Big Mac. I'm in.
Oh, man. I was going to say, remember the time
you're a cheap boy.
That's right.
Were you going to say, remember that time when we were Hearthstone podcast?
But we were kind of talking about Hearthstone.
Yeah, we were totally talking about Hearthstone. Until we got on double cheeseburgers.
Oh, man, I'm hungry.
Yeah, no, right?
It's like that joke where the guy like posts on Facebook. He's like, "Yeah, the supermodel hit me up on here, and she's like, hey, I'll have sex with you if you'll endorse my cleaning product." And he's like, "Whatever, I'm not endorsing your cleaning product for sex. I'm gonna be strong, strong like Ajax, the super 100% cleaner that eliminates 99.9% of odors. Buy Ajax at your local convenience store for only $3.99 per bottle."
God, I hate to inform you, but like the stream's only audio. Is that cool?
Yep.
Yeah, we are.
That's part of the Forge.
That ship has sailed.
Yeah.
Okay.
You remember when we were said this night is shit? Yeah.
That's part of it.
This was that moment.
I'm glad everyone could join us for it, though. It's fun. All right. So, is that it for next week's release as far as cards?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh, I have one more note to make.
Go ahead.
The golden artwork on Huge Toad, which actually Huge Toad seems like it could be play, but the golden artwork on it is fantastic.
What's in his mouth?
I think it's a mind control tech that comes out of his mouth.
Yep. Yeah.
So he's eating a mind control tech, which is awesome. So kind of cool.
If I could get like one of those. If I could get one of those IR, those cards where you move it, like, and if you have a real card, you move it and it changes, like it does like an action. Have you seen those? Like these like pogs and shit, where you could move it and it would change what the image was.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, you probably just. Badly,
I know what you're talking about, Mushu. They do like folders from high school. You like move it and like it changes. There's like an animation.
Yeah, it's like an animation based on the way you look at it. And so if this was a real card, I fucking want one of these. But maybe that could be a possibility. But it's a pretty funny animation. Let's be honest.
Pretty good.
All right. Well, I got a couple decks that I want to talk about. We have another bigger topic, and I think this is kind of lead into that. But 2 decks. We'll start with the one I actually haven't tried yet, and we'll get to the one that I'm having a lot of fun with. But have you guys seen the Death Rattle Rogue with Stalag and Fugan?
Yeah,
I've
it's
actually played against
stupid.
it once.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's so I'll run down the list real quick so the viewers know what it is, and I'll put a link. I saw this on Hearthstone, and I've seen sort of. I think I've seen a version of this. I've seen another class try this too. Um, but anyway, okay. So here's the list. So we'll start with the big ones. I'll just lead down the list. Doctor Boom, Fugan, Stalag, Sylvanas, Dark Iron Skulker, 2 Defender Argus, 2 Neurubine Egg, 2 SI7 agents, 2 Sludge Belchers, 2 Unearthed Raptors. So that's where the fun is. 2 Abusive Sergeant, 2 Loot Hoarders, an Antique Killbot, Heater, Hunter Creeper, 2 of them, 2 Powder Shredder, 2 Eviscerate, 1 Fan of Knives, 2 Backstab, and 1 Sap.
So its only card draw is Loot Hoarder?
Yes. Not even
Interesting.
a
There's no sprints.
Sprint, thank you.
Like that.
Yeah, that's kind of it. I don't know. I think it's funny.
It's pretty funny.
I'm sure when it works, it's probably like,
what even comes out of Fusion and Stellaris? I just kill him. I just always kill him or silence him immediately. I'm like, no, none of this.
And for those,
it's a 10-10?
Yeah, 10-10 or 11-11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For those of you at home that
both die to BGH.
Right.
Yeah.
If you don't know, and you're playing against this, do not silence the first, so Fugan and Stalag, when you play them, whatever the last, if they both die in the game, an 11-11 pops out, or basically a big mini. I think it's 11-11. Do not silence the first one. Silence the second one. Does that make sense?
That makes
Public
sense.
service announcement.
Yeah. If you
Just
if
save
you didn't know
yourself from the 11-11.
Right. So yeah, it looks fun. I don't think it's I can't imagine it being consistent.
It's just a value deck. So if by consistent you mean consistently offering like multiple cards for one card, it's okay.
Yeah.
I've lost to it a few times. So.
I think it could work.
I think it's fine. I just don't think it's. Is it better than like playing Freezing Trap or because it's a mid-range value deck and there's just better options probably out there. And I mean, Unearthed Raptor is incredible, but is that enough value to make it the best option?
Yeah, I mean, and the thing to keep in mind too is I think we always try to rank decks and playability as far as the best deck in the game, Rip Patron Warrior, but is this a Patron Warrior? No. Is it I don't know.
Secret Pally.
No.
It's not a Secret Pally.
No. Is it Hobgoblin Druid? It's probably better than that.
Yes.
Except for when Hobgoblin Druid works. Oh man, it's fun. Yeah, I don't know. I need to try it. If you haven't tried it, go try it. If you can build it.
I think it's Totem Shaman.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay. It's like that level of consistency.
I think so. I can see that.
Sure.
Yeah. And because when it works, you're like,
sometimes, sometimes Totem Shaman, you just die really quick.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't understand how I was supposed to win this game. But sometimes you're like, wow, that's not good when they're dropping an Unearthed Raptor with nothing on board.
Yeah. All right. So that is, I'll put a link on our show notes, but that's the Stalag Fugan deck that I've seen. Other deck that I've been playing. So I've been playing this one actually quite a bit. For those of you who've been listening for a while know that I like Dragon Priest a lot. Well, I saw a build, and I've been thinking about this, and I've been trying it, and I haven't changed anything yet from this build I read. Bran Bronzebeard Dragon Priest. So the idea is you basically buff your Battlecry cards, obviously. So cards like Twilight Whelp come out as two fives.
Two fives.
Wormrest Agent and the Twilight Guardians only get a buff of 1 attack, so not a huge deal.
Still helpful.
It's still helpful. I mean, think of it, Twilight Garden, a 4 mana, 4/6 with taunt. That's better than the Druid one. But cards like Blackwing Technician get really good. Tell you what gets really good, Blackwing Corruptor does 6 damage when it hits the board. Like, that's freaking sweet.
That does seem good.
Yeah. We've talked about this. I have not been able to get Cabal Shadow Priest to steal 2 minions to confirm if that works or not.
I don't think it does.
No,
I'd have
dude.
to target the same minion.
Right, that's what I'm
It's-
warning too. So I haven't been able to try it yet. But Azure Drake draws 2 cards.
Definitely.
So and it only costs 3 mana to play the Bronze Beard, and it's a 2/4. If you can play it on turn 3, it's really good. Otherwise, it's like either play it on turn 3 or you're gonna play it on like turn 7.
Yeah.
You don't want to
Or
play it.
8 alongside with like Blackwing.
Yeah,
or something.
like it's in that weird kind of spot where you don't want to play it in between those turns. But the dream is getting that and then playing a Velen's Chosen on it to keep it alive. So against an aggro deck, it's really strong. So I'll go down the list real quick. 2 Power Word Shield, 2 Northshire Clerics, 2 Twilight Whelps, a Shrinkmeister, 2 Wormrest Agent, 2 Shadow Word Death, 2 Valen's Chosen, 2 Blackwing Technician, a Bronzebeard, 2 Twilight Guardian, 2 Holy Nova, 2 Azure Drake, 2 Blackwing Corruptor, 2 Light Bomb, 2 Cabal Shadow Priest, and a Chillmaw and a Ysera. There's a couple cards I'm thinking about changing out, but it's I don't know. It kind of, for one card swapping in, it does make Dragon Priest significantly better. And I already thought it was pretty good to begin with, but
it is worth noting that Blackwing Corruptor does all 6 damage to 1 threat.
Yes.
Because you can't redirect any targeted battle cry with Bronzebeard is going to target the exact same threat for both targets. Now, Mind Control Tech, that could potentially steal 2 things because it doesn't target.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I need to put one in there and try it.
It might be worth it because of the fact that you're playing it. Like cards like Bomb Lobber get better because they target 2 random enemies.
Yeah.
So like, but at the same time, I can see where the synergies with the thing is that like the Dragon Priest build does have enough battle cry effects, like you were saying, that it might be the fit for it. Maybe I honestly don't think it is. I don't think it's the best fit for it. But I think there's definitely some potential brand Bronzebeard value going on there.
It works really well on some minions, and then like we were saying, Wormrest Agent and Twilight Guardian, it's like, well, it's better, but just by 1 attack. It's not a big jump.
Sure.
But I feel like it's either like Blackwing Corruptor, where it's like, oh my god, that's so good. Azure Drake, draw 2 cards, or it's like, meh, it's not bad. I'll say that. I think just for funsies, I'm going to try throwing a Matter Bomber in there and see how that works.
Oh my gosh, the maddest of bombers.
Right. I did think about putting in an anti-kill bot, and having a turn 8, 16 health. For those tricky aggro players out there.
They're so tricky.
They're so tricky.
I've been having a lot of success with anti-kill bot actually.
In what deck?
Whoa.
Jeremy, I think your computer's. No, it's not.
You. Like I've been playing Bronzebeard with anti-kill bot pretty effectively. I played it with Milrogue for a little while. I played it a little bit in like a control warrior list just to mess around with it, and it wasn't as good in that kind of a list because you have other ways to gain health, like with shield maiden. But Bronzebeard with shield maiden still a pretty good combination. Yeah. But it was anti-heal bot with the Bronzebeard, and then with Milrogue, and then I just bounced it all back to my hand and did it again the next turn, gained 16 more. So it's just, it was not amazing because like I was still getting hit for 10 the next turn, but gaining 16, bouncing it all back, gaining 16. Like doing that two turn cycles in a row put me back into a position where I could potentially still win the game, which is pretty powerful. definitely one of the better combinations with Bronzebeard.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Do I still sound terrible?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Be right back.
So those are the two cards. What have you guys been playing this week? The same kind of same old, or anything new?
I tried Secret Paladin. I had one. I didn't have a very good experience this day. I hit like the bottom end of my variance and lost 5 games in a row, and then got kicked out of the server. I couldn't get back in. I was like, no, fuck this noise. I'm gonna go play RuneScape. Like I was so tilted. I don't know if you guys have like lost. It's been a while since I like lost 4 games in a row, and then on the 5th game got DC'd, but I was just like, no, I'm done.
Oh, that's
I'm like it, and just that feedback. It's really.
What about now? Am I still awful?
Yep.
Yeah, you make baby Jesus want to cry, Jamie.
No, it's good now.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's good
bro?
now. You're good now.
Okay. All right.
It fixed itself. Cool.
I can't tell if you guys are trolling me or not.
No.
All
right.
Only Matt.
We'll probably start trolling you now, but yeah. I've been playing, believe it or not, Ramp Druid, which is a deck that I hardly ever play. It's because when I was playing it was yesterday in Tuesday Night Hype, I realized that they changed the format. It's no longer just pick 3 decks, Conquest. It's Conquest with a ban now, because that's the new format for competitive play. And I didn't realize it, so I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like running late, and I had like 2 minutes to put everything together, and I had to come up with another deck as I was like inputting my 3 decks into the first round to play against Phone Tap. So here I am, I'm like, what do I play? And so I just click on my selection real quick, and I had Ramp Druid built. And so I was like, all right, we're playing a Ramp Druid deck. We're just going to call that good. And I played that. That was actually the deck that I didn't lose with the entire tournament.
No
I
kidding.
didn't lose a single game with, which is funny because it was the
ramp or a combo.
Ramp Druid. It does have combo in it. It's like it's the combo Druid build. It has, it's not like the aggro Druid build. It's just, it has the ramp pieces, and then it has the combo finish.
Well, I mean, the difference is the 5/10 guy with taunt, so it doesn't have that.
Right, it doesn't have that. It has the combo finish. It has Force of Nature with Savage Roar. It's pretty much the classic Druid deck construction idea. Almost, entirely. The only kind of difference is the one like flex spot running a Living Roots as a 1-of instead. And the only reason I ran the 1 Living Roots is because this is the build that I had put together when I went into the tournament. I was like, oh god, I have to throw something together, so I threw it in there, and I won 5 games with it, so it was pretty good. Nice. And then after the tournament was over, I just started playing on ladder. I think I lost like 2 games with the deck so far, and I probably played, I don't know, I could look it up real quick on my death tracker, but it probably about 20 games or so.
I wonder if people
I've been kicking butt with it.
Are people just expecting the aggro Druid? Because that's what I've been running into a lot.
I don't know, maybe it is nice that the Ramp Druid deck can be a little, or the combo Druid deck can be a little more disguised now going into the first game.
Well, there's not as much Hunter too. So like Hunter, which was like a 70% for Hunter, Druid can now queue in and not have to worry about mid-range Hunter. So
sure, and I mean there are Zoo decks on the ladder. The one matchup that I played last night on the ladder with this build against Zoo, I just happened to have the perfect Innervate coin piloted Shredder, and then turn 3 drew my other Innervate, and then turn 5 I Dr. Boom. So I even against my bad matchups I drew really well, but I haven't really seen any bad matchups like you were saying. I haven't played against Hunter once. I played against Zoo one game so far. In the tournament it was perfect. It every single time I wouldn't start with the deck because I'd look at what my class options were. It would be I'd be playing against Mage, Warrior, and maybe a Warlock build, and it's well, okay, I'll just not play my Ramp Druid deck or my combo Druid deck until I finish the Warlock class off. And once that was gone, it was just okay, there's a free win now, and it steamrolled people every single time. It was great. I also tried out the aggro freeze deck that we were talking about. Last week, I think. I don't know, man. I don't know about the deck. I understand why it exists.
Yeah,
it totally exists because it destroys Secret Paladin if you play it correctly. It's a really tough deck to play, it feels like, to play it correctly, because its strategy hinges so heavily on Ice Block and being able to use the Ice Block effectively to buy yourself a turn, and then being able to, like, that turn afterwards go, like, fireball, 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 like, or just do, like, a 20 damage or 15 damage out of nowhere kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
that was my thing. I see how it works, but it was just, for me, it was really inconsistent. And like you said, it does rely, you have to get your Ice Block out. If you don't get Ice Block out, like, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
Right.
And I honestly, I lost more with the deck than I won with the deck. Now, had I played against Secret Paladin everywhere, sure, I think I would have won more than I lost with the deck. But it seems very, very, very tuned to a very specific meta. So it feels like the deck was just going to be a splash in the pan. And now people know it exists. They can play a little bit more effectively against it. And the times when it's going to be good, it's going to be really good. And the times when it's going to be bad, it's going to be really bad.
Right.
Yeah. And so for anyone who's curious, this deck is basically a burn deck. It throws fireballs at face. It just constantly applies pressure. It doesn't care about its board position that much after like turn 3 or 4. And it's just chucking stuff at its opponent, basically.
RNG.
And then, yeah, basically. and then it puts up its Ice Block and it says, okay, hopefully I draw into a fireball, or hopefully my Forgotten Torch hits me the other torch, the blazing, the roaring torch or something, you know?
Right.
So, yeah.
Nice. Matt, Jeremy, any new decks?
I just wanted to say that I think doesn't that burn mage like suck against any sort of Reno?
Oh,
You run out of steam and just get
absolutely.
after me. One of the decks I want to play is like Reno Lock, because it just looks like so much fun. Just slam, get to like turn 17, slam down Reno, be like GG motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, that card's been wrecking me lately.
That's basically how that would work.
I just need to build up some traction this season. I lost all the way back to 19, and it's just like, whoa, man, I've got so many fucking ranks to cover. That's what usually kills for me at the start of the season. It's like that. My season will usually hinge on like the first day. If I do well, I'll be like, yeah, I can do this. If I don't, it's like,
I'm done.
Fuck this game.
I've not played a game of Hearthstone this month so far.
What?
We're only 2 games.
A whole 2 days in.
Well, no, I take that back. I tried to play the one Tavern Brawl.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So,
yeah. I mean, I was thinking a bit of
played one game of
Overwatch.
Hearthstone.
Yeah, I
playing Overwatch.
So let's take a little pause from that, because I'm a little ticked off. Why don't I have an invitation to Overwatch? I own every single Blizzard PC game ever made. PC game ever made.
They probably don't know that.
I went to BlizzCon. Why don't I have beta to Overwatch? I even pre-ordered it.
The heat, hate
that's,
Mexicans.
Apparently,
that's the best bit. It's like
it's not summer. They should know.
I haven't bought it. I have the Overwatch beta. I'm in, boys. I am in.
Blizzard, why you do this? I need it.
How do you know if you're in or out? For people who don't know, because I don't know. I haven't even checked to see if I have Overwatch.
If you open your Battle.net client,
Yep.
and click on Overwatch, and if it has a button that says install, then you're in. If it just has the 3 blue buttons for each of the PC consoles, then you're not in.
Then that's quiet talk.
I really hope Brad's in, because that'll make me laugh so much.
Oh yeah, I'm totally in.
Are you in, seriously?
No.
Okay.
The great part is I can see the video of Mike right now going, seriously?
He's like,
down. You gotta be kidding me.
I know, he'd be like, yeah, I'm in. What's Overwatch?
Yeah.
What is Overwatch? How do Overwatch? How I get?
Yeah.
What card is it?
Oh, is that's the car soccer game, right? That's the car soccer game for you.
Yeah. Rocket Watch, something like that.
Rocket Watch.
I do play a lot of that game though.
Yeah.
I do love me some.
Yeah. Me too. I bought Black Ops 3, so I've been playing it like nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing you should think about playing Overwatch from Australia is there's currently it's not connecting to the Australian server.
Mhm.
So I'm on like 180 ping for
Yeah.
my buddy who was a TF2 pro says like it's still 100% playable. It's like not too much. It's like obviously a problem, not optimal, but it's not too much of a problem. It's still very much playable.
Well, that seems rough in a first-person shooter because then you would like shoot someone, and by the time the bullet gets there, they're like 10 feet from where they were.
But it's like you've got abilities and shit. It's like and there are quite a few abilities that like sort of spray like slightly wider than the where you've actually shot like missiles and shit. So,
right.
It's playable.
So yeah, you just queue a shotgun class and you don't have to worry about it.
Who's the pig guy?
You talking about Roadhog?
Roadhog, yeah.
The big fat guy.
Just
the big.
Just spray and pray.
Spray and pray.
I was gonna play like Bastion or something, who's literally just a turret. He has like turret mode and moving mode, and turret mode he puts up a shield and just turrets. Or maybe play Reinhardt, who's just a big fuck off German dude with a massive shield and a giant hammer.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people play him.
Yeah, he's been like pro pick tank.
I don't understand why Overwatch is not a console game as well. What limitations does it have that make it?
It is.
It's just not beta.
It's going to be a console game?
Yeah, confirmed.
Yeah.
Seriously? Oh, I wish PS4 and oh my god, that makes me so happy. When does that game come out? It's like summer of next year, right?
No PS4, only Xbox One.
So yeah, Xbox One and Wii U are getting it.
Oh
Wait,
no,
PS4's
you guys
not getting it?
You guys suck.
Wait, where did I lose you? Just saying only Xbox One or the Wii U? What was it? The only Wii U that got you?
This is the troll mode. Initiate troll mode. Seriously, can we exit troll mode for just a second? They are going to have it on console.
Confirmed. Like
yeah,
no lie.
but it is only Xbox
my
One.
god.
No, it's
I'm looking at it right now. Actually,
it's both
it
consoles.
says, yeah, just Wii U and Xbox One, both consoles. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. PS4,
that part is serious.
Yes.
Yes.
Confirmed.
No PS4. You're gonna have to buy an
Like
Xbox
ever?
One, Jeremy. I guess not. That's what it says here.
Oh my god, I have to pull up Google because you guys suck.
Oh man.
See, to me, this just seems like everyday fucking news. Like how have you missed this? But then I suppose if he plays Hearthstone on his iPad, he doesn't have to open up the client and be exposed to news every day.
I live in Alabama. We don't have them newses out here.
What's a computer?
What's a computer?
What is a computer? How get?
Yeah. You
There's-
talking about one of them internet things? One of them email machines?
Tarnation, I know what that is. Oh my god. So much troll.
Are we gonna offend our Alabama?
Oh yes, it's on
Alabama
PS4.
audience?
Yay!
DRC confirmed.
Yeah, you're right.
You guys are liars and awful people.
What about the Wii U?
Yeah.
I actually own a Wii U.
owns a Wii U?
It's a solid console.
It is a solid console.
Okay.
Smash Bros, Mario Kart, man, you can't beat it.
I've been playing.
Oh, so this is coming out like
July?
really early next year.
Yeah.
No, not
It
early
says
next year.
It says Q1, Q2, 2016.
Yeah, it's
It'll
gonna
be end of quarter two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like September.
There.
Like September.
Whenever
That's
Legion
not-
drops.
It's not even fucking funny, Mike. Don't make jokes
I don't
about that. You
think-
kids shit.
So I need to start watching this game because this will be the only game I ever play once it comes out, right?
Well, I don't know how it's going to be like competitive in the sense that I feel like the PC players just shit on console players, and I don't know if you can play. I don't know if it would be cross-platform.
I doubt it.
But,
I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I can't imagine it being cross-platform, which was sort of that's an interesting problem for the esports scene is how do you conquer? Do you have three divisions? Do you have the Xbox, the PS4, and the PC division? That's I
don't know. That's weird.
because I think notoriously you should you should just get shat on by PC players because of like the mouse versus the console stick. It's just like a fact of speed.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. You could always just cheat, but I don't know.
Mushu, do you actually like the game though? Like, do you think it's like, is it going to be a breakout shooter game?
I don't know. It's not like
Besides being just a Blizzard.
It's not that like fun to watch.
Okay.
Like
No?
with the exception of being like, look at, well, this is judged by, I know this is obviously 100% indicative, but by the Twitch numbers, it's not that like amazing. But you look at it, and I think at the moment what's driving it is people's hype to get the beta of the game. I know I watched a shit ton of Hearthstone streams when I first was trying to get the beta, and then as soon as I got it, I just started playing the game instead of watching the game. It looks a little bit better on YouTube because you get like you really want to watch in like as many frames as possible. So if you have like a shit speed at all, I think it's much more enjoyable watching VODs and stuff. I watch a bunch of videos by Australian guy named Daniel Fenner, who's done a shit ton of Overwatch content, and it looks really nice.
If they do it like Counter-Strike, I think it would take off. Where they kind of switch in and out, like the competitive Counter-Strike, because watching Counter-Strike's a lot of fun. Like I didn't think it would be, but it actually is a lot of fun to watch Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I think if you had from a spectator, it's probably more viable from a spectator mode than it is from because there's so much going on in the one screen. Like you have like people just flying everywhere, teleporting and shit. It's good. It's
I have
fucking
a question. I have an off-topic question about Counter-Strike. Why is Counter-Strike so like? Why do people like that game?
Because it's amazing.
Is it? Because they managed to combine like a really simple. It's pretty easy to follow Counter-Strike as to what's going on. Like you either kill all the people or you set the bomb off. And then on top of that, they added like a collectible thing with the skins, and you can trade it and you can sell it. So there's they're approaching and tackling several marketplaces. Thirdly, in CS:GO, where they have the matchmaking system, so you can just jump in and be like, queue me against people of my level, and there's that sort of progression aspect to it where that wasn't in the previous game.
So like when I watch Counter-Strike, because I'm a big fan of first person shooters, like I really do like most of the Call of Duty games. CS:GO or Counter-Strike is just like constant hip fire unless you have a sniper rifle, right? Like there's no aiming down the sights unless it's a sniper.
Right.
Is that not?
Yes, that's correct.
There's a couple. There's only a couple of guns with scopes.
Yeah, so that's weird. Like, why would you? That just seems weird to me.
Wait, so
like the shooter part of me, like having played Call of Duty so much, like being able to aim down the sights, that's like increases the difficulty of the game because then you have to aim. Whereas with like hip fire, you're just like shooting.
Wait, what do you mean randomly by hip fire?
Hip fire, like you don't bring. People can't see my video now, but like, okay, so you don't bring the gun up and like view. You don't have to find someone in the sights. Like in Call of Duty, if you just have the gun and it's in the bottom right of your screen, and you're running around with crosshairs in the center of your screen, if you just start shooting the gun, it's not going to be that accurate. But if you pull up the sights, like if you press left trigger, then it pulls up the sights of your gun and you're like aiming down the barrel of your gun.
Well, it's
and
like
you have
the crosshairs in Counter-Strike. In Counter-Strike, you can't. I remember being told that you can shoot while running in COD and it doesn't like affect the aim too much.
Right.
In Call of Duty or
yeah.
Oh no, that affects the aim a lot. Like if you're sprinting or if you're running and you're trying to fire, like it decreases your accuracy a lot.
Well, I think it's like apples and oranges. Like in Call of Duty, like if you compare the two, it's like me waving my arm around like this in Counter-Strike, but doing the same thing in Call of Duty, it's like doing this. Like,
okay, so in Counter-Strike,
I might hit someone behind me if I'm running and shooting, whereas Call of Duty, it's like I'm gonna hit you. It might be in the toe. It might be in the ear. Who knows?
Okay, so Counter-Strike then with the crosshairs in the center of the screen is like super, super accurate the closer to standing still you are.
Yes. Yeah, there's not a
Okay,
lot of
well,
running and gunning. I mean, there is, but there's
that
not
makes
a lot of
that makes a lot more sense then. Okay. I still don't like that you don't aim down the sights, but
yeah, there's
I
no
mean, I
there's
guess.
no iron sight aiming. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But man, we are ranting today.
Yeah, what can you do?
Hearthstone.
Well, that's because
Overwatch.
nothing is getting released this week.
Yeah.
We got the little dude, little Finley Mergleton, Sir Finley Mergleton. Yeah.
You kids talk about DreamHack and how Purple just
Yeah.
victory and
We
conspiracy
didn't.
theories.
I didn't watch it. Tell me
what are
about
the
these conspiracy theories. I haven't seen any of the VODs, and I didn't get to watch it live.
There was a player, I think his name was like Horse or something. Basically, it was a top post of Reddit between day 2 and day 3 where there was footage of him disconnecting in 2 games, and because obviously it's a DreamHack, it's like they'll replay it because you're supposed to have consistent internet connection. And so what happens was each time he DCs, there was like he was playing on the NVIDIA Shield, so there was a swipe down. You could see his hand. He swipes down on the screen and presses something, and then this guy puts up a video explaining how easy it is to toggle the Wi-Fi on an NVIDIA Shield.
That's
So if you have Android, you can just Android. I'm pretty sure it must be close, although the same on iOS. You can pull down like an action bar and just turn off the Wi-Fi and toggle it, which would disconnect you. And he did it. The video examples had it where he was doing it in 2 games where he was behind on board, like losing, and he went on to like win the replay game. So it was like kind of like, is he doing it? Is he cheating? But obviously, you can't prove that sort of thing. It's just sort of like a little bit of I guess just hearsay based on and just upvoted on Reddit. So that's what I was watching. Was that?
So are they playing it in person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was
Okay.
it was BYOD, which is bring your own device, so you can build people with laptops, people with tablets. Purple won on a tablet, and I was just like, man, Thug Life is just like, how do you play on a tablet?
Tablet players for life. I'll tell you what.
I could understand
We
if
are
I was
awesome.
like, I could understand if I was like a pro going around to live tournaments. I'd probably want like a tablet or something because it's like so much more portable and has like a decent battery life and everything. You don't have to always be plugged into the wall. Whereas with a laptop, But I suppose like
17-inch SLI enabled quad core Alienware, like where it's like 20 pounds and the battery life's like 20 minutes. That's how you play Hearthstone.
Well, yeah, that's my experience. But no, I think getting a nice enough tablet, like I don't know, maybe even an iPad Pro.
I'll get one of those get one of those like backpacks that you carry a desktop computer on.
Right.
just haul a desktop computer on my back.
An iMac
screen.
That's all you need.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be good to go then.
With the cinema display.
The few times that I've gone out to those tournaments, I always take my iPad. They're all playing on computer, and I'll just pull out my iPad and move the keyboard out of the way.
Yeah, right.
Like it really, you guys make fun, but it's super convenient. Like the game was very clearly designed with tablets in mind.
I play a lot of my time on I've got a Nexus. I play on that a lot. I like playing on the desktop more, but
yeah, just being able to without having to right click and left click and you just click and drag everything with your finger. It's just so easy.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my.
If I had a tablet, I'd probably play more sitting down. But it's just fun to make fun of you for being on a tablet.
What's really funny though is if I'd started playing Hearthstone during the time that you could just play on your phone, because at the time I bought this tablet, I bought it because I didn't want to buy a PC and you couldn't play it on your phone, so I just bought a tablet.
Yeah.
Basically specifically to play Hearthstone. Now, I don't play that much on my tablet anymore. I really I almost play more on my phones because
Really?
I'll just play. Yeah, I'll play like at work I get like an hour break for lunch and then like 2 15-minute breaks, and I'll just go walking around the building and I'll play Hearthstone for 15 20 minutes at a time, and that's just basically when I do my quest for the day, and that's basically all of my Hearthstone for the month. I just do my quest in ranked, and eventually I get to rank 5 usually.
I hear you. All right.
He's not cracking out the stats or anything. I don't know if I get. It's so like nice. That's my counter argument for like bringing a laptop is being able to have deck tracker. Obviously, it's not it's not everything, but it's very handy to be able to like track your opponent's deck. It's like obviously your deck, and that's nice. But I think more tracking your opponent's deck and be able to like take more informed notes and have it done automatically is a pretty big edge in live if you can make use of it. But obviously, if you're not going to make use of it, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely like deck tracker is really really cool, but at a certain point, is it worth buying a computer so that I have deck tracker? I don't know.
I would say it's worth buying a computer to enhance your overall experience.
With Hearthstone, because I don't really play.
Yes.
With everything. With Hearthstone, with podcasting.
Yes, with everything.
I guess.
With existing.
Yeah, mostly
As a
existing.
human being.
Yeah.
I just love PCs. It's just maybe I'm a fanboy.
No.
Me a
Yeah.
fanboy.
I
Probably.
think we
I-
both are.
I don't like I've recently sort of been less a fan of just being grounded to the chair. So I'm gonna get my height adjustable desk and be able to walk around my room at least and play games.
I do want a stand-up desk. That would be cool.
Get those.
That's what you should do.
Yeah.
That's what you should do, Brad. Since you stream so much, let's get you a standing desk.
I do need
stand
something
up,
like that.
We'll start the hashtag stand up and stream, and that'll trend, and then we'll win the game.
We'll be trending standards.
Yeah.
Setting
Stand
new
up
standards.
and motherfucking stream.
DRC confirmed.
Stand up and stream, the new standard.
Stand strong. Stand up and stream.
Puns for life.
Mike's stand-up desk would just be a shot of like his forehead.
Exactly. Right here. Hey guys.
Got him.
Got him. The guys get me at work all the time because we'll have meetings and we're like, hey, everyone needs to come stand over here. So we'll like, because we don't really have any like meeting rooms big enough for everyone that works on our floor. But so we'll come over this one big area, and I'll come over, and my buddy Corey's always like, dude, you're an asshole. It's like, yeah, you stand. I'm like, thanks, Corey. Thanks. The people there that don't know me and Corey's relationship know that. I think it's rather mean. I'm surprised no one's called HR yet, but it's yeah. It's
I just roll the fuck over his foot and be like, sorry, buddy.
right. I went. Oh, what did I go? I went to a baseball or we went to a game with him or something once, and it's like a stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and he goes, "What are you freaking like a traitor?" Or what he called me? Are you a terrorist or something? Jesus, dude.
Okay, so real talk. Do you have like a cool vehicle, or do you have to have like a specifically designed like
so I've
access vehicle?
I've got hand controls, but that's it. I drive,
okay, gotcha.
I drive a Subaru XV, which is basically like a raised Impreza.
Okay,
but I just
that's
have
sweet.
Yeah, I don't have like a van. Like when I'm old, I'll have to have one. But
yeah,
my chair just breaks right apart, and I just throw it in the back. So it's kind of nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Like even my wife.
Yeah, so you just like pull yourself in and
yeah.
What?
So like even my wife can drive my car. I just got to pull the hand controls off and she can go.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Parking sucks though. You think it'd be awesome, but here in America, they hand out handicap tags like they're freaking candy. So if you
exactly.
If you break your toe, you get a handicap placard, and so it's actually hard to find parking.
I worked with this dude. I worked with this dude back when I worked at the call center for the bank that I work at.
Yeah.
And he was a military guy, like he was a Marine, and he got injured, and so he lost like his ability to be in the Marines, but he wasn't like handicapped or anything.
Right.
He just had like basically a slip disc.
Yeah.
Is what it amounted to. And then he had to go in and have like it fused or whatever. So he was still fine. Like he's this giant dude that since he was in the Marines, he was like, well, I'm not going to stop working out. So he was just giant, like 245 pounds, 6'3" kind of guy.
Jeez.
And when he went to the VA, they were like, hey, we can get you a handicap tag. And he's like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we can get you like a handicap sticker. And he was like, but I'm not handicapped. And they're like, yeah, but we can get you a handicap sticker and then you can park in the handicap spots. And he's like, that would make me an awful person. I'm not handicapped. And they're like, yeah, but you qualify. And he was like, F off. I hate all you.
Right.
I'm not handicapped. Like, yeah, they do that. Like, there's this lady, she wears like 6-inch stilettos to work every day. And like, she parks in handicap.
Right.
Basically, if in the United
legally,
States,
right?
if you're right, exactly.
Yeah.
In the United States, if you're overweight, you can get a handicap sticker. And it's like,
go Merc.
you're not, yeah.
I have, if I'm ever
It's
like,
I'm handicapped. I am handicapped. I ate at McDonald's way too many times.
Right. Like if I'm ever elected into office, so vote for me, DRC confirmed. I'm doing like my Nixon thing here. I want to put it to where like, all right, we'll have like elderly parking and then disability parking. And disability parking will not necessarily be up front. So if you're old and you can only walk like 10 feet, by all means, park up front. I don't need to park close. I just need, like the hash marks. That
you just need space.
That's
You just
all I
need someone not to be beside you.
Because I literally cannot get into my car with. I need an extra foot more than anyone else would need just to get my chair in.
Right.
That's it. That's all I need. So I just need the space. I don't need to be close. Now it's a safety.
Well, you
thing.
should run. You should run for president. Has there ever been like if you ran in a wheelchair, like immediately you'd get voted for?
Probably,
right?
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt. That's who it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
He
okay.
That was like after his campaign time is when he had started having issues like that.
Right.
Yeah, he had was it TB?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Something like that. Anyway. Remember that time we were Hearthstone podcast?
Nah, it's too late,
absolutely.
Mike. It's not. It's dead.
I
Hearthstone
think
is
we've
dead.
said that a lot tonight.
It's funny because we started the podcast saying, "Oh my god, we have so much content to talk about for Hearthstone," and the amount of Hearthstone chat we've had tonight.
Maybe that's why we're having
comparatively
like freaking keep spilling beer. That's what it all comes back. Don't spill beer. It is such bad luck.
Especially on your mechanical keyboard.
No one listens to us for Hearthstone. They listen to us because we're their pals, we're their buddies, and we also happen to play Hearthstone.
Yeah, we're the BFFs of Hearthstone. Yeah. I'll take it. I'll take that reign.
Were we going to talk about free to play or something?
We were. Well? Yes, that was the next topic. Matt's favorite topic. So I actually have had quite a few people come up to me this past week and ask me about decks, and some of them being new players, some of them just not having investing either a lot of time or a lot of money. And I want to ask you guys, I think we've talked about this before, this game isn't free or pay to win as much as it's pay
to play.
It's pay to win, but not pay to play necessarily.
Right. You need to invest a lot of time or a lot of money to be
pay
competitive.
To play well.
I think. Yeah. So for those who, and obviously, if anyone asks me, hey, what's a good deck to play for someone who hasn't spent a lot of money or time, it's like, well, the best card you can play is your credit card. I mean, honestly.
That's the perfect remark.
Is it Dr. Boom the best card? No, credit card's best card.
Credit card is it.
But I mean, there are some cards like Dr. Boom, like is arguably one of the best cards in the game right now, and it's not the 7/7 body. It's the fact that it drops 2/1/1s that can do 2 to 8 damage. But let's say, all right, I just started playing and I've been playing for 3 months, and I don't have a bunch of cards. what's the best way to get the best advantage that I can possibly get? And through this, I feel like a lot of our listeners, because we're more of I don't know, top end, more competitive podcast. There are other podcasts that do kind of more
Focused towards
beginner
newbies.
or yeah. I don't necessarily want to say newbies, but maybe even free to play who haven't invested a lot of time.
Sure.
And there's some that do other things, but I feel like if we're talking, all right, let's say you're building a new account, you've got a couple months into it, so you have some cards, and you're willing to drop $20, $25, and maybe get like Nax Ram or something like that. What's a deck that you can build that will not necessarily take you to legend, but take you kind of far? And I feel like in this discussion, we're going to talk about what's in the meta right now, because it's, if you're seeing a lot of Dr. Booms or Zoo Locks or, Hand Locks. Yeah. So a free to play card that you can get is, or a classic card, is Big Game Hunter. Or if you're playing against a lot of aggro decks, maybe you play Mind Control Tech. I don't know. That's something I kind of wanted to talk about. I told a friend at work, his friend asked him, what kind of decks can I play? And I sent him Trump's free-to-play deck, a Zulok deck from way back when. And I told him some...
That's just me.
Well, I told them some exclusions because I feel like the Cleric. What's the Cleric? The 3/2 that buffs 1/1. Shattered Sun Cleric.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't the same card it used to be.
Sure. Not as good as it used to be.
So for those of you who played way back when, it was a lot better of a card. So that there, like, if you have that, but try putting this in instead. It's really difficult now because of things like that, and power creep. But that's kind of where I sent that person, and then I gave him a Face Hunter deck, which did require actually quite a few cards from some of the other expansions. But let's start here. What do you guys think? I feel like if you just started playing, go in.
You're fucked.
Yeah.
Kind of.
You kind of
No more players.
You need to spend a lot of time or some money and get Nax. I feel like that if you're going to drop $20, $25, just go buy Nax. Don't buy packs. Go buy Nax.
Yeah, I think the biggest things you can do is
that
don't buy packs. First, buy the solo venture of Nax.
Yeah.
Totally.
So here you go. DRC confirmed. Buy Nax, not packs.
Yes, buy Nax, not packs. And then after that, buy Dr. Boom.
Right.
Or dust Dr. Boom. That's your next step. Get Dr. Boom.
Do you think they how with video games, like the console stuff, when they reach a certain sales point, they drop the price?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's their strat with the adventures or something? Like once there's so many Nax Remus sales, like I would have thought they're not going to get many more Nax Remus sales, so at the current price point at least. So there hasn't been like any deals or anything. Like there's been, I guess, like the Amazon thing where you can buy Amazon coin, you get Hearthstone packs cheaper and shit like that. But there hasn't really been any sort of like shop promotion for Hearthstone other than like any real discount, with the exception of the TGT pre-order.
Yeah, I feel like they could. I feel like they could drop BlackRock and Nax to both $9.99, and they wouldn't lose any money. Like there would be a few people who've held out.
Yeah,
there'd be a few people who held out. Like how many people are going back and buying Nax right now for $25?
That have been playing for 2 years.
Right, exactly.
I think if you drop the price, you could potentially revitalize and drive some new traffic to other servers, like people like us who would, if it was cheaper, potentially buy more cards and stuff on other servers, just because
exactly
to play a different server.
So Brad, who wants to build up his EU account or whatever, so he can hop on and buy 2 adventures for $9.99 a piece. Like it would make it really easy for him.
And I feel like that would be
they would make money
than doing a discount on so I'm going to differentiate this: expansion versus adventure. Expansion being just cards, adventure being the solo mode in cards. So doing an expansion cheaper, like people would go buy those to dust. I feel like.
Yeah,
It was like
exactly.
years
You
later.
can't.
But,
You can't really do
but the-
those.
Yeah, but the adventure, I don't think it hurts anybody.
Yeah.
No,
Those
I think
should-
you're right.
Wait a year and
The
a half or
non-
something. I don't know, a year.
The non-current ones should be $9.99.
Yeah.
Or it even doesn't even have to be $9.99. Just like what are they? It's like $25 at the moment, or
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, $14.99. Even that.
yeah. If they, you're so American, $14.99. It can't be $15, can
No.
it? It has to be
You
$14.99.
gotta save,
No.
you gotta save that extra 7 cents in tax.
Yeah, you got
I
it.
want to. Wait. Does 1 cent equate to 7 cents in tax?
It's
No.
per dollar, right? Isn't it?
Wait, what? It did not. I think there's a communication error here. It's 7 cents per dollar. Yeah, like you were saying.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I
no,
mean-
the 1 cent is not going to tack you into 7 more cents. It's
You
not
guys
for every
only
cent
have
you're
a
getting
7
paid.
cent 7 cent per dollar tax.
I think so. And it's a
It
state
depends
to
what
state
state.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some states
Ours
don't even
is-
have sales.
Yeah, ours is
Ours-
insane. Ours is like 9.
Oh,
Our scales with our income tax. Well, no, you guys have your tax is different. Like we have GST on stuff, which is I guess the same thing as your like 7 cent per dollar thing.
Mhm.
So some things in our country, like are there items that are tax free? Like for example,
no.
tampons.
Occasionally.
Are tax-free in Australia.
What?
There is no
Why?
government sales tax. Yeah, like I guess things that are considered necessities are tax free.
Like,
Okay.
like a computer.
Is clothing not taxed then?
No, it's
Food?
something like actual. There are some. It's like very like basic stuff. Is like for example, like I think
I would say clothes are pretty basic.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends.
it depends.
Let me
I
start
think
taking my clothes off, and we'll find out if that's basic.
the majority of our audience is audio listeners, so it's all G. Go ahead. But yeah, there are some things that are tax exempt because they're. I think there are some. There's a list somewhere, but
Is
Yeah.
Foster's
What about
tax-free?
drop bear repellent? Is that
Is that normal?
And turtlenecks?
No, everyone
are
has-
tax free.
everyone has to make their own. It's our way of weeding out the weak people.
Yeah,
You
no,
can't make
isn't
drop bear repellent. then
drop bear
there's this-
repellent is a mixture of urine and Vegemite, right?
Pretty much.
Mhm.
and Foster's.
Yes.
Because
And
there's one
Foster's.
time it's
Foster's?
Baked at 300 degrees Fahrenheit,
Right.
not
Just
Celsius.
lather it all over
You guys
yourself.
do weird numbers and temperatures and shit.
You mean you don't measure your stuff in 12s?
No. Base
Yeah.
10 is just
I know. No, I agree with you 100%. I don't know.
We should all go to metric. That's the one thing about America that I hate is we're tied into metric, or we're tied into
I-
non-metric.
Yeah.
I feel like the best bit about America is you guys got gay marriage before you got the metric system. And one of the most progressive ideas versus one of the oldest progressive ideas.
Like
It's
the like the truths, math.
Wait, so is gay marriage still not legal in Australia?
no.
Really?
But they have the metric
Really?
system,
Wow.
so they're on the
Oh.
course.
It's crazy.
Either that or they've passed it. Like you've got the metric system, so it could never happen. It's like your government's
but-
like, guy, we gave you the metric system. What more do you want?
I don't I
Right,
think
exactly.
We're closing in on an election, so I can't imagine I don't think that it's in the state of Australia. It's not particularly. I definitely think because we do referendums where some issues are just put to the people as a vote, and I think that's gay marriage should just be one of them. It's just absolve the politicians of all responsibility towards it, and that would get it done.
Mm.
How's gay
All right,
marriage in
so-
America going? Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
probably
I'm,
well.
I think it's good.
I'm not gay married, but
Yeah.
you know,
I assume.
Jeremy-
Nothing's
whatever.
different.
I think it's working out.
Except for getting that one place in Kentucky.
Oh yeah, that I forgot her name. I'm not even gonna say
Some
her
lady
name.
who's completely against it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
not even,
yeah, that
slightly
chick.
against it, but wouldn't do her civil job.
Right.
Yeah, she's
Right.
like, I believe in conventional marriage. I've been divorced 9 times.
Right.
It's like, that's fine, but your job is to sign this sheet of paper and tell people they're married. You know, it's like, don't
Right.
care if that's what you are and what your thoughts are. Just sign
Yeah,
a piece of paper.
go work at Starbucks or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
All right, you were trying to segue us back to Hearthstone. Brad, what was your segue?
That's my segue right there, Mushu. You nailed it.
Got
Segued
him.
right back
Yeah.
to Hearthstone.
Yeah. So I'm
Defender of Argus is known for defending gay marriage.
That's right, it
That's
is.
how he got his name.
Argus is Orcish for marriage.
For gay marriage
For gay
protection.
marriage.
It's actually Draenei because he's a Draenei.
So
Right.
I'm gonna go one more thing. So the Draenei were the first race to legalize gay marriage in Outland. Or no, Draenor before it was
Okay,
Outland.
In Argus.
In Argus only. Okay. This is deep. This is real deep.
Argus is the Draenei's homeworld.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
So back to Hearthstone. Oh my
Well,
god.
what I was gonna say was, so we were talking about like new players getting in. I think
Yeah.
the biggest thing, and you mentioned it right off the bat, Mike, is that network. You know, like because this game has gotten to the point where there's a level of complexity with even just opening up your collection and like looking through your collection. You're like, what are all these cards? What are all these tabs? Like, why do I have all these things going on when I open this up? How do I get to crafting? How do I start dusting stuff? You know, there's a bunch of different questions that can be asked, and just having that support group of having somebody who already knows at least something about the game. So like for you, Mike, that new player, having that person to be able to turn to you and be able to say, hey, what's a good starting point for me? I think is the best place, because the thing is that the game is dynamic, and so it's hard to say, oh, here's the deck that you should build.
Right.
You know, what we can do is we can give you suggestions like, you know, like a zoo build, like a zoo warlock build, which is going to, the deck's not going away, right? We know that deck is staying around. We just don't know what iteration of that deck is going to be around, because there's tons of different iterations.
Even right now that are it's not like, oh, it changed with this. It's like, oh, it changed because we added this, but this one's still good. This one's still good. This one's still good.
Right.
Like there's several versions of that deck.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, my question was, all right, looking at, and my keyboard doesn't work, so I can't even pull it up. I do have a tablet phone though. Looking at the, like a free-to-play version from, the vanilla, I guess I call it the vanilla era. After
Classic set.
Yeah, there you go, classic set. I want to look at that list and kind of go over it and be like, oh yeah, that card's still viable. That card's still viable. This one, not so
you're
much.
talking basic cards then, cards that you just achieve from just playing. the game.
Basic, or that you would open over time. Like this is not going to be for someone. This is your first time playing, or you've been playing for like a week. Like, you've put in some time, because you have to put in some time or money right now. Like that's just where we're at in this game. You have to.
Right.
How much time? That depends. And if you want to go to Legend, it's going to take some money or a lot of time.
Right. Well, to give you perspective, I've been playing a free-to-play account for about 6 months now, since I basically started playing this account. And I would say after 6 months of playing 7 hours a day, basically, not every day. Let's say I play 30 hours per week of this game, streaming it. So over 6 months, 30 hours, it's going to take the average player a year to a year and a half before they have all the cards, which is kind of where I'm at now. I don't necessarily have all the cards, but I have all the cards that are necessary to create a collection. I've just and I don't have any of the gold cards. I just sell all the gold ones. But I'd say for the ambitious player, it's going to take you 6 months to build a collection for free to play. If you're going to be a little less ambitious, it might take you up between a year to a year and a half to finish a collection. That being said, it's not going to take you 6 months to finish one hero. So as a free-to-play player, you can focus your attention on one, maybe two heroes to start with, and then branch yourself out slowly from month to month. But yeah, as you were saying, those basic cards, which are we just going to discuss which ones are still kind of viable?
Yeah, so
like the ones you get for free in a sense?
Sort of. Like some of these are just going to open in packs and stuff and get over time, but
right.
I'll just go down the list here and we'll just kind of talk about, it's still in play, or it's still viable. So I'm going to start with a Zulok. This is Trump's build from way back when. I'll put it in show notes. And we can kind of talk about, okay, that's not so much, how about playing this instead? And I want to talk about why you make those choices based on what the meta looks like right now. So let's say because someone playing Secret Paladin at rank 2 is going to be different than someone playing Secret Paladin at rank 18.
Sure.
Let's say it's 3 months, 3 weeks into a season, so it's not like day 2, obviously. But so Mortal Coil, Soulfire, Flame Imp, Voidwalker, and Doomguard. So Mortal Coil, it still sees a little play, but it's not a staple. What do you guys think?
It's definitely not a staple in Zoo at all anymore.
But I feel like in a starter deck, this card's great.
Yeah, and it's a basic card.
Yeah.
So it's going to be something that's going to be available to a new player.
Yeah, I'm thinking about a lot of people play 2/1s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
even times
Sure.
there's going to be times when just using it just to eat a divine shield off of a shield of mini bot can be good for you. It's card disadvantage, but Warlock is able to generate cards through its hero power. So yeah, it seems fine there.
Right. Any of the thoughts, guys? Jeremy, Matt?
No,
Not so much. And that one's pretty simple. Soulfire. So this card's changed a little bit. I feel like this card has become a kind of a linchpin for a specific deck. It's not what it used to be. Because it used to be 0 mana, discard a random card. Now it is 1 mana, discard a random card. And that 1
it's
mana,
still fine.
it's okay, but it's not what it used to be.
Well, it used to be OP. Like how 0 mana was just like, is this fair?
Especially if that was the only card you had in your hand. Like you play
Is
something.
this
and play
free?
that.
It's like free. It was free. It was free tempo is what it was.
Yeah. So it's.
Gosh.
I guess if that's all you got, it's good removal. Yeah.
It's certainly still good.
Yeah. Flame Imp, absolutely. That card still sees play in even the best Zoolock decks.
Yeah, that's still just a straight premium 1-drop.
Right.
Value minion.
So much value. Voidwalker, again, it still sees play in some Zoolock decks. Doomguard, absolutely. What are you guys feeling on that card?
Yeah, if you get it with a Void Caller or play it with an empty hand, it's just disgusting.
Right.
And one of the real advantages of Doomguard is it's only 100 dust to create. It's a rare rather than an epic or a legendary. So it's going to fit into a lot of newer players' options. And the card is still just insane.
Yeah.
So good in that kind of a deck.
It sucks to have 2 of those in your hand, but
yeah, sure. It has its downsides. Sure,
Right.
It certainly has its downsides.
Right.
Generally you're happy to have 2 of some card in your deck or in your hand, but that's the one card I can feel like you're just like, crap, I only want one of these ever in my hand at any given time.
Right. So I feel like the Warlock cards have not really changed. There's some like I'm running a 1 of Bane of Doom in my version, but again, that's what did that?
I very much like that tech, but it's like it's good times.
Yeah, I like it. It usually works out for me, and that is an.
You usually get a Mal'Ganis, and it's GG.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah. I guess if you're running into issues with like aggro decks or stuff like that, you might run a Hellfire. You don't really want to run cards like that when you're playing Zoo, but I guess it can be a comeback card if you really needed it. I don't know.
You were saying that the deck had Shattered Sun Cleric in it before?
Yeah, so I'll go on to that real quick.
Okay.
We'll just go down the list here. Argent Squire.
That's fine.
I
okay.
gotta go into the free to play frame of mind here, or beginning. I need to stop.
Yeah,
free to play.
any sort of 1-drop is usually any value 1-drop is fine.
Do you feel like Argent Squire over Leper Gnome? This is not in this build. Leper Gnome is not.
I would run Leper Gnome.
Yeah, I feel like it's a toss up though because you want board control early.
Yeah.
Well, Leper Gnome.
I think I would run if I were doing a free to play version, I would play Argent Squire and Leper Gnome.
Yeah, well, that was my next thing. The next card is Shield Bearer.
Oh gosh.
Now, back in the day, it was a decent throw in, but the game's changed quite a bit. So I'm wondering.
Not in 2015, Hearthstone.
Yeah, maybe that's so you keep your Argent Squire, take out your Shield Bearers, and put in Leper Gnomes instead. I think that's That's pretty fair. Young Priestess. I remember back in the day
What?
seeing that. Yeah.
Really?
I remember.
It's not bad.
No.
Sure, it's still.
It's not that bad. It's not bad if you're going to run that many 1-drops.
Right.
This runs a lot of 1-drops.
Right.
Because Argent Squire into Young Priestess, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Next one was Direwolf Alpha, which still sees play today, especially when you throw in cards like Implosion, things like that. I feel
I
like
play 2 Direwolf Alphas right now.
yeah, okay. Do you feel like Implosion is if you've got it, throw it in a Zulok deck?
I think it's a must play almost.
Okay.
Like
So-
I hate to say that, even as like a free to play player, like there's gonna be some number of cards that you're just sitting there and you're like, oh, I don't have this, or I can't utilize this because I don't. I haven't
Craft
spent the
or die,
time on it.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But this is one of those cards that I feel is it's swingy. It can be really bad when you get hit for 2 and you're like, crap, now I'm gonna lose the game. But it's so good because it kills something and develops your board for 4 mana. And that's insane. That's what you want with Zoo. You want to be able to develop your board at all stages throughout the game and kind of can have this board control.
Right.
And so Implosion gives you that in 2 regards. It catches you up when you're behind and puts you ahead. Like there's not many cards that can do that, and that card's just incredible because of that.
Right. Next one, Knife Juggler. I mean, it's Knife Juggler, but who doesn't like a good Knife Juggler? Harvest Golem.
That's a good card.
Yeah, I feel like based on what you have available to you in your roster, that's a pretty solid card. It's sticky. It's like a Pilot a Shredder before Pilot a Shredder. You know,
Sure.
I feel like that's how people treated it back then.
Yeah, it was the pilot shredder
Of 3 drops.
2013.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Next one, Scarlet Crusader, which I know some people are still playing that card in competitive decks.
Who?
It was
Sometimes Oil Rogue will play it as a 1-of.
yeah.
Because
That
it's a
was
sticky
like-
threat.
That was a couple of months ago.
I
That
feel like
was
somebody-
hyped a few months ago.
Was it? I feel like someone at the WCS had a deck with it in it. I can't remember. Yeah, I think that's a solid throw in. Now, Shattered Sun Cleric. So I want to talk about this one and Defender of Argus. Now, Defender of Argus buffs and taunts, fantastic. Can be 2 minions on either side. That card hasn't gone anywhere. Even when they nerfed it, people still play it. Shattered Sun Cleric, however, you're getting the buff only. What are there any other options that you guys can think of other than that card that kind of, give? I feel like it was a tempo play back in the day, being able to buff something, trade, and you still have your minion on the board. That wasn't obviously an optimal way to do it. Getting the 1 extra damage isn't really a big of a deal, like the face or something like that.
I mean, it depends on what your goal is
Right.
with the deck.
What's
Kill
another
face.
option?
The card's still fine.
You think so?
Yeah, it doesn't.
I
It
don't
doesn't
think
really matter for a free to play beginner zoo. It really doesn't matter.
Okay.
Like the plan doesn't really change. Obviously, the more value minions you have, the better. But the plan is still the same. Play lots of minions, hit phase, and refill your hand with your life tab. So it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
As long as, like, I think you want to keep optionally, or no, you really need to have things like Knife Juggler, because those are the things that plays into your play style, where you're just playing these minions, getting that extra point of damage. That's and then obviously Defender of Argus, and even Shattered Sun Cleric is fine because it just buffs. Like, I would take a cleric over a Scarlet Crusader because it buffs something. And this comes down to where you need where you need Nax, because if you don't have Nax, you don't have Haunted Creeper. Haunted Creeper is one of the best zoo/aggro 2-drops in the game,
Right.
just because of its stickiness. It's a value minion.
And I'll get to that in a second because I definitely agree with you. The last card in this build was Argent Commander. Back in the day, that was really strong too. Especially if you didn't have a Leroy or you didn't want the downside of like an Arcane Golem.
The first couple of iterations of Hearthstone tournaments, every deck was running 2 Argent Commanders because it was a 6-mana 4/3, and it was just so. It seemed so broken at the time. Like, it was just the way people were thinking was you play this card, and to the point where it got nerfed back down to the 4/2 with the Divine Shield it is now. But at the time, it was considered to be really, really good.
Right. So, I mean, the thinking just with what we have, I feel like I might add like maybe a power overwhelming or two.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of finisher cards or nice trades. So maybe, I don't know, take out, I don't know. Maybe that's where I would take out my Shattered Sun Cleric, because I don't know. I see.
You could add in, without having to buy the adventures, you can add in the 2-mana 1/2 that gives a minion 1/1 when it enters. What's that one?
Not sure.
Wait, say that again?
Shield Bearer, maybe?
No, definitely not Shield Bearer.
No, not Shield Bearer.
Are you talking about Shattered Sun Cleric?
No, it's like Shattered Sun Cleric. It has the very same effect, but it came out with the Argent Tournament.
Oh, it's a 1/2 that gives +2 attack. Lonely
Maybe.
Squire,
Yeah.
something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Correct.
When you inspire?
Lowly Squire.
Oh, yeah.
Lowly Squire.
So yeah,
You can add that.
No, it's not. I'm sorry, it's not Lowly Squire. It's it's not Lowly Squire though. I just saw Lowly Squire. Lance Carrier.
Lance Carrier.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
But at that point, like, is it worth constructing a Lance Carrier?
Right.
would you
Lance
rather
Carrier
have a deck
common?
that doesn't? Yeah, it is. But like, if you could instead say, should I, instead of building this Lance Carrier, should I build a Power Overwhelming? Or like, what should I be crafting? Should I be crafting another common that's going to have a long-term effect as compared to this card that's going to have a short-term effect? That's going to help me at first, but not going to give me the.
It's more about if you open a TGT pack and you pull this and then chuck it in.
Sure.
But yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't
I
go
think-
out my way to
Go ahead.
craft it, but if I've
I
got
think
it,
it really doesn't fucking matter what you put in a zoo deck if you're free to play. Like, they're like outside of like 6 cards, it doesn't.
Right.
Like, you just really want to fill it in with things that'll go boom. And so you need your Knife Jugglers, you need your Doom Guards, and you need your Flame Imps, you need probably your Power Overwhelmings, and maybe either Soulfire or Dark Bomb, Iron Beak Owl.
And that's what I'm trying to get at is how do you optimize kind of a limited roster?
You should probably put in 2 piloted shredders.
yeah, it's hard to
Let's get rid of this guy.
So, I mean, you go ahead first, Brad.
It's hard to say, hey, how do I optimize with a limited card pool?
Right.
Because a lot of those newer players aren't going to know. It's such an abstract concept because everybody's going to have a different card pool available to them when they start. And that's why I think networking is still just the best tool for those people to get into understanding the game. Like, you need a network of people or person that you can sit down with you for 10 minutes, or you can at least discuss with it. Like, people come into my Twitch channel often and are like, hey, should I dust this? And I'll be like, yes, dust this because you're never going to use it ever again. Or no, don't get rid of this because you could throw it in this deck. And then they give me a deck list, and I'll be like, well, maybe you could cut this if you have, this, or this. But like, you just you have to look towards people who have a little more experience in order to gain an understanding of where you are in relations to your free to play account. Or your new account, maybe not necessarily free to play.
Right. So, I mean, with that being said, let's talk quickly just about, like, if you really want to if you're starting, you want to take it serious, you don't want to drop $600, but you could drop 20, 40, 60 bucks. What are we buying? My first is
Nox
obviously
Ramos.
Nax. Yeah. Especially if it's
Nax.
a zoo deck. I mean, you're talking Haunted Creeper, the Nerubian Egg, so many things like that. If you're playing a different type of deck, maybe Sludge Belcher's your thing. Or if you're playing Secrets, you want to, not a Mad Scientist.
Yeah, Mad Scientist is in there.
That's what I'm thinking of the other one. Yeah.
I think you have to preface this by saying that as a new player, your odds of winning are going to be increased if you're playing aggro, because you don't need to know what your opponent's doing first off, which is good, because you need to just know what you have to do. What's your game plan? Secondly, there's more cards that are going to be available to you in the game for the most part that are not legendary. The more controlling cards generally end up finding you more legend characters or cards that are expensive generally as compared to playing more aggressive decks. So I just want to note that really quickly.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, and as we talk about the cards, so like Piloted Shredder, I
Mhm.
feel like that's kind of the. Let's talk about the cards maybe that you just, if you've got the Dustcraft it.
Pilot Shredder.
Piloted Shredder.
Yes. The first card is Dr. Boom.
Dr. Boom.
Dr. Boom's insane.
Dr. B.
And then Piloted Shredder. Those two cards are insane.
Yeah.
Um,
You can kind of put those in anything.
Yeah, and that also moves a little bit more towards the aggressive play too, which you don't have to necessarily be an aggro deck, but you need to be a more like aggressive or mid-range deck, and those are the decks you generally want that card in. Now, granted, Control Warrior, like Ram, or like there's Druid builds that play. There's all kinds of decks that play Dr. Boom and Piloted Shredder, but their strongest decks are generally the decks that can control the board down, going and just build all the way up to the Dr. Boom. And utilize those in that way. Those are the two that stand out to me that you should always craft if you're in those circumstances.
Right. I mean, what about you guys? Jeremy, you want to go first? I mean, like basically, if someone came to you and said, "Hey, what kind of deck should I play?" and you've got your own bias. I know, like you like Hunter a lot. I mean, try this Hunter deck. I mean, what would you suggest, knowing that they're not going to drop $600 or they've only been playing for like a month?
Yeah, I mean, Zoo is always your best bet. You could probably build a pretty decent Face Hunter deck without a lot of trouble. So yeah, I would start with aggressive builds, just because they're pretty straightforward. There's less of a chance, like ultimately you're playing less turns, so there's less of a chance for you to screw up. But yeah, I would start with Hunter. I would start with Zoo, and just kind of go from there. Druid is probably a good bet, just because there are a lot of Druid has been around for basically forever and doesn't seem to need too many changes. So that's probably a good bet.
Yeah, I think Druid's a good secondary deck for a new player or free to play player to move into. They can start with something a little more aggro to get a feeling of the game, and to buy into a deck pretty cheap. And then one of the advantages of the Druid deck is cards like Innervate, Wild Growth, Swipe, Savage Roar. Those cards are classic cards, or basic cards, I'm sorry. And so they're cards that are already going to be available to you. So you already have a lot of the pieces to Druid. And not only that, but a lot of the cards that go into a combo Druid or ramp Druid, or even to the aggro Druid to some extent, are all cheap cards. The exceptions being like maybe a Dr. Boom, which if you're already progressing in the way that we suggest, you already should have a Dr. Boom. The other one, probably if you played like a Lotheb or something in your build, is a card that you would get from Nox Ramus. So if you're doing that solo adventure and getting the Dr. Boom, from there you can start building what direction you want for a relatively cheap price. But I think the biggest key is just, finish your Nox Ramus, get your Dr. Boom, and go from there.
I mean, I feel like, especially you're talking about Druid, there's not a lot of, I'm really trying to think here. There's not a lot of cards that you need that came from other expansions that you need. Like, obviously, Emperor of Thrazan is awesome in that deck, but you don't need it necessarily. I mean, what do you guys think?
Agreed. You don't need it. He's not that big of a problem. Like, I feel like if you get to the point where you need it, you are more than happy to spend the money on BRF.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I think such an inconsequential card for a majority of archetypes.
I think ultimately, especially at this point in the game, if you're not willing to drop actual cash on the adventures, not the expansions, but the adventures, like you're just not gonna be in good shape. Does that make any sense? Like, the adventures aren't worth the amount of time that they require, but they're more than worth the money that they require, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you have to spend 700 gold per wing, so it takes me about a week to get 700 if I'm playing consistently and regularly. So yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think are traps that'll happen to newer
Yeah.
players in these kind of circumstances? Like one of the traps that I always think of right off the bat, and this is because it's fun and it was a little bit of a trap for me, was Arena. I thoroughly enjoy Arena comparative to Constructed because I like limited formats. I enjoy the Arena format. But it's a costly investment, and if you're not good at it, you're going to lose your 150 gold really quick, and all you get is a pack. Now, granted, a pack for 150 gold and like 3 hours worth of fun or 2 hours worth of fun or whatever is probably worth it from that standpoint because you're not spending any like actual money on this enjoyment factor that you're getting. So for when you include the opportunity cost of playing an arena run, probably worth it. But if you're trying to build a collection and be able to then start playing constructed Hearthstone and being able to be competitive in Hearthstone, or maybe not even competitive, that might not be your goal. Maybe your goal is to reach rank 18 this season or reach rank 10 or whatever your goal is. I think you're more advised to not go into Arena first. So I think Arena feels like, to me, as the first big trap for new players. Especially because they give you one free Arena run.
Yeah, and I hate that too because Arena is a good place to get gold and cards, obviously, but you've got to be good at it. And I don't know, what's the what's your break even point? You think where it's like 150 gold? Yeah, this was worth it. I got a pack, and
isn't it 7 wins or something?
You think
6 or 7 wins?
Okay.
Well, 7 wins is when you get 150 plus gold, where you'll at least break even on the gold.
Yeah.
But are you talking value? Like in my opinion, 5 wins is where I want to be. Because at 5 wins, you're getting back like 75 gold or more.
Okay.
And you're getting a pack plus a little bit of dust. So at that point, I think you've made value. You haven't necessarily broken even, but you've made value at 5 wins.
Okay.
But 7 is the actual break even point. It's the point where you've gone infinite. You're creating card packs out of nothing. You know, you're getting back your gold and you're getting a pack out of it. 7 wins.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So really, it's just pull out the credit card. I mean, that's I'm really trying to make an argument here.
That's basically
it's
it.
hard. It's really hard.
Well, that's to be competitive. I don't think you need to do that to have fun.
Yeah.
I think if you're new player, Arena is just infinitely more fun than playing the ladder.
Yeah. Right.
It's more clear what the
you're-
progression is.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
Matt,
that's true.
are there any other decks that you can kind of recommend to a newer player?
Mech Mage is another one. Like
Mech
seeing
Mage, yeah.
Mech Mage is relatively cheap. It's it's less, I guess, cost effective than. I don't know. It's on par with Zoo in terms of cost efficiency, but obviously it's gotten better seeing as there's been a rise in popularity of the Mech Mage that doesn't run Mad Scientist, so you don't need to buy an Extramus. You can just craft like Unstable Portal and run the Mana Worm version. That one's just as effective. It's pretty cheap. And so that's a good alternative because that's what I played last time I was playing on my EU account, which was a while ago. But yeah, I was building a non-mad scientist mage, and yeah, so basically just avoiding things that need mad scientists.
Okay. All right.
That's tough.
Yeah. No, it really is. Yeah. It really is. And that's, I mean, I know Blizzard's thinking about it. They've even talked about it at BlizzCon. It's kind of how do you keep new players invested? It's hard.
Yeah, and I think it's going to come down to the community to continue its growth at this stage. I think the burst of growth that Hearthstone saw over the last couple of years I assume will taper off a little bit. Not like immensely. It still will probably be growing a little bit at a time, but it's going to take a player base of to help those newer players get into the game or help the newer players want to be invested into the game because they have a network and a player base to communicate with and to have fun with. Because in the end of the day, if you're not having fun, what are you doing?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You, Jeremy.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's true.
Oh, hey, here's another tip that I have. This is something that I do on a regular basis. When I have my quests, so every single day you get a new quest, right? And there's a total of 3 quests that you can have in your pool at any given time. A lot of times what I'll do is at the very top of the quest where it actually has it, there's a little X, and you can exit out of the quest and get a new quest. So if you exit out of the quest, get a new quest, it'll give you another random quest. Well, if your quest is giving you 40 gold and you re-roll that quest, you could maybe get one that gives you 50, 60, or even up to 100. But if your quest is giving you 60 gold, I generally don't re-roll it and get a new one. If it's giving me 100 gold, obviously I don't get rid of that because that's the highest gold count that you can get. But if it's a 40 or 50 gold one, I'll re-roll them to try and get another one. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of people take this strategy, but what really I think makes it even more of an efficient or a strategy you can take is when you get a 41 and you re-roll and you get another 41, don't finish your quest for the day. Just hold it. Just be like, all right, I'm not going to do my quest. And at that point, you'll get your second quest, the one that you get the next day, and then you'll get a chance to re-roll again. So if your second quest all of a sudden is 60, you can then re-roll that 40 again, because every day you can re-roll it once per time. So if you're re-rolling that every single time, you're able to potentially get that up to a 60 at some point. And that way, even though it's going to take you 2 or 3 extra days to get that extra 40 or gold or whatever, if you re-roll it 3 times, eventually you're going to hit a 60 and you'll be like, okay, now I can complete this goal, and I can finish this quest. So
I typically try to
maximize your gold that way.
I typically try to hold on to my quest until I have like several I can compete with one class,
Right. Maximize your time.
Yeah, that way, I'm not spending an additional amount of time in Hearthstone. Well, I don't know. In the case that you're a new player, though, you really want to get to those 3 wins in a row so you can get that 10 gold because that matters. So I don't know. That's tough.
Fun fact.
It's also tough. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, in this week's Tavern Brawl, if you play Jeeves and your opponent lets it trigger, it'll cause their client to crash.
Really?
It's just Guy's Toast original. So,
oh, wow. Oops.
That's funny.
What? As you were saying, young Jeremy.
I was going to say, it kind of sucks because, for newer players, when you get quests and it's like, oh, win 4 games with Druid. Well, if you're a newer player, you might not have any good Druid cards yet. So that's tough.
And that's where you reroll the quest and be like,
yeah,
win 5 Tavern Brawls, and then you kill yourself. There's 5 Tavern Brawls, and
and then you uninstall.
Right.
Oh man.
No. You don't uninstall. You just end your life. There's no middle ground.
Someone has to like Tavern Brawl, right?
Yeah, I like the ones where I don't have to build a deck. Where I don't have to think.
Yeah,
I can just press Tavern Brawl. I don't want to be like, oh fuck, I don't want to think about a deck that the rules. I just want to be like, here, please. Yeah, here, Moosh, have this deck, win a game. Okay, please, I'll do that for you.
This one seems like it's stupidly grindy this week, though. It's
pretty dumb.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool, the idea of it, but it just ended up being very, very grindy. And then my opponent got back 6 turns in a row, so then I quit.
Yeah.
So
I played a game. In the one game that I did play, my opponent dropped a Deathlord on turn 3, which then meant that he gets Deathlords over and over and over, and that means that you pull chickens over and over and over, usually.
Oh, that's
because you put so many chickens into your deck early.
Yeah.
So it was just really, really lame.
That's how I've been beating my opponent is they keep playing chickens, and I'll play 1 just to get on the board. But
you don't want to play. You don't want to. That's the key to this week's brawl is you don't want to play many chickens because the more chickens you play, the more chickens you draw.
You think if they were angry, it'd be better?
Yeah, it would be better because you have all the little.
The buffs. The
buffs.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
So Keeps is mentioning in the chat right now that he likes the Tavern Brawl specifically that that give you a deck to construct because it helps him complete his quests, which is kind of nice, I guess. Because then he he has like a crappy druid deck, and he's like, oh, play druid, and so he's like, all right, play druid instead.
Yeah,
but that would make sense if it was the ones you don't actually have to construct. Or sorry, he said the ones that give you decks. Sorry, I was wrong. So yeah, the ones that give you decks he likes as well because of the fact that you can potentially get that basically that quest done with a randomly generated deck, which is nice. So I guess Tavern Brawl has that advantage for new players as well, just for the fact of completing their quests where they otherwise wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough life to be a new player in Hearthstone.
Right.
Better subscribe to DRC and live your life.
Yeah, I guess so.
You heard it here first. Confirmed. Oh, man. Well, boys, any other thoughts? Anything? Forever hold your
I'm good.
Are we holding our pieces?
I'm very hungry.
Oh, well, in that case.
Well, pardon us, Jeremy. Pardon us. No, I'm actually really hungry as well. Let's go get some food,
Oh, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
I thought you guys were going to agree with me. All right. I
bought a loaf of banana bread earlier. I'm going to go tear that up.
That sounds fantastic. Well, folks, that is episode 44 of the Death Rattle Crew. We had some technical difficulties. It's just, man, this episode,
and you guys weren't meant to stream where
man, 2 weeks in a row.
Do I have to host it? Do I have to do everything?
Yes, you do.
All right, I'll do it.
We're gonna try to get this fixed up, and hopefully next week won't be a problem. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, the internet. Just look up Death Rattle Crew. You can email us at mail@deathrattlecrew.com. We'll try to get this fixed up for next week. I'm going to get some Bradford Lee tips and tricks for the trade.
Send us some emails. We've clearly displayed, we've clearly displayed that they don't have to be Hearthstone related for us to discuss them.
What are you talking about? We've been on point all night long.
All we've talked about is Hearthstone. Clearly.
Yeah, send us some cool stuff like have us discuss for 15 minutes whether or not short sleeve button up shirts are a thing.
Yeah.
Like, should that exist?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Your opinion's here. We care. All right. So, from the rest of the crew, I'm Tac2, joined by Mushu, Bradford Lee, and the legend formerly known as Jeremy, and we will see you next week.
Peace.
No Australia?
Oh, yeah, there was an Australia.
There is no Australia.
I thought I said it.
Did you say
Rip?
it?
No.
I said it right at the end. Maybe there's too much layering. Rip.
Yeah.
James is dead.
Oh, well.
It's over.
James dead, boys.
It's too late. The cast is over. Can't
You suck.
GG.
No one will ever know that you're from Australia.
G.
Never.
Fucking G.